Guys, man, there was something about this game that I mean, you guys know, because if you saw the podcast, I mean, I kept saying something weird about this game. Something felt weird about this game, and I kept saying you got to play him. You got to play Baker, and then it got closer to game time, and I'm like, you got to let him start. John Wolford starts the game. Sean McVay has seen enough after his first series, and Baker plays the whole game. And let me tell you right now, what he did was just phenomenal. I mean, I understand this team is 4-9. They're probably not making the playoffs. I say probably because there's still a weird chance that they can. Everyone has to lose and they have to win out and all that. But let's just stay in the moment here. Baker went 22 of 35 for 230 yards, a touchdown, didn't turn the ball over, took a beating behind that offensive line. I don't think they were terrible, but he definitely got hit. And what he was able to do, man, that took serious balls. I mean, first off, give credit to Sean McVay for putting him out there, right? Sean McVay put him out there, gave this guy an opportunity. Baker wanted this. Of course he wanted. Why would he not want this moment? Why would he not want this opportunity? He's built for this. He won huge games at Oklahoma. He won big games in Cleveland, and this was his time. And, it goes back to what I was saying, what I know people in the comment section were saying. This was a no-brainer for the Rams. Baker Mayfield appeared in their lap, sitting there. You don't normally have the fourth spot in the waiver order. When a guy like Baker Mayfield shows up in the waiver order, he shows up in waivers, you got to claim him. I don't even care if Stafford was healthy. I think they still claim him. This was a good talent that they were able to acquire for nothing, really. He could net them a comp pick next year, but we have to have a serious conversation. And I understand it's early, it's premature, but we have to have a serious conversation about Baker Mayfield being signed and kept long term. I could see a scenario. He loves LA. He's brought in. He's welcomed with open arms. Obviously, playing like this will do that for you. But I see a scenario where, Stafford comes back next year and Baker, he signs on and he buys into this team and he decides to be a backup. And he says, look, I'll be a backup, but I'm the guy after Stafford. And I honestly feel like that's possible. Now, there's also a scenario where you and I don't know, but Stafford's spinal cord injury is bad enough to get him to retire. And at that point, I think Baker Mayfield becomes your starting quarterback in 2023. Now, that is a little premature, but this game was huge. This was a huge win. The Rams haven't won in quite a bit. They were in a 6-game losing streak, looking at 7 losses here. They score 14 unanswered points in the fourth quarter by way of Baker Mayfield leading the scoring drive. Cam Akers plunges in for a touchdown. And then you had on that final drive, beautiful throw to Van Jefferson. You had to have it, only 10 seconds remaining. There are not many quarterbacks that can do that when they have preparation. There are not many quarterbacks that can do that when they need to do that, when they've prepared for it via the offseason training camp. Baker Mayfield, with 1 day of practice, goes in there and balls out. I don't care what anyone says this point on, okay? Baker Mayfield is trash. Baker Mayfield is ass. Baker Mayfield is cheeks. I heard it all. I didn't listen to any of it, but I heard it all. I didn't bother with it. I said from the get-go, the Rams need to go out and they need to claim him. I made a video about it. You guys watched it. Most of you guys agreed. This is why. I'm not saying that I knew this was going to happen, but I am saying that when they were down 16 to 6 or whatever, or rather 16 to 3, I guess my belief in this team didn't waver. Okay. I didn't think they were out. I was frustrated with first off, the officiating was awful. So I thought the officiating was really bad and held back this team. But I was never out on this team. And this is exactly why you want to see Baker Mayfield in there, okay? Not even just to win this game, okay? But what did he do? He got different guys involved. You talk about the Van Jefferson touchdown at the end of the game. You talk about 5 catches for 50 yards, Tutu Atwell. He had 9 targets. Baker looked at him 9 times. He had never played with him before. Baker was looking at Tutu Atwell. 9 targets in this game. He led the team in targets like I projected before the game. How about Ben Skoranek coming up there, making a huge play on the ball? You know, he's got, what's his name? Hobbs. Nate Hobbs. He's got Nate Hobbs draped all over him. He makes the catch. He comes down with it. Is he making that last year? Probably not. So you see the development there with Skoranek. To see him come alive, 7 catches, 89 yards. You love to see it. You see 5 catches for 50 yards from Atwell. You love to see it. You see 2 catches for 44 yards from Van. Was Van heavily featured? No, but when the game was on the line and when it mattered, Baker went to Van Jefferson, and that was huge. You saw the big 10-yard, screen pass to Kyron Williams. That was big. Tyler Higbee. Did he drop one? Yes, but he came back, 2 catches, 11 yards. Those were important. You moved the chains on one of them. Bryson Hopkins had a catch. Austin Trammell had a catch. Austin Trammell also, I believe he generated a pass interference call as well. And then, you look at the run game, and we could talk about that another day. They only ran the ball 16 times, so they went away from it. They had Baker Mayfield with hardly any sort of preparation. They had Baker Mayfield, okay, with hardly any sort of preparation, throw 35 times. Baker Mayfield threw 15 more times than Derek Carr. Derek Carr only completed 11 passes out of 20, and he threw 2 picks. And Baker's the one that took care of the ball. Carr had all day to throw compared to Baker, and Baker's the one that took care of the ball. So maybe when I was saying that this guy did not get a fair shake with Carolina because their offensive coordinator is the worst in football and Ben McAdoo, this is what I was talking about. Now just wait until Baker Mayfield gets a chance to actually prepare. Okay, he goes through a full week of preparation. He goes through practices. He had 1 practice. I cannot believe he literally went down the field. You guys have to understand how improbable this comeback was, okay? The Rams are down 16-3 up until the 9:01 mark, okay? Or sorry, the 3:19 mark. They score a touchdown with 3:19 to go. They take 9 minutes to go down the field 75 yards on 17 plays. 9 minutes. It's 3:19 remaining. The defense gets a stop, so you got to give credit to them. And then Baker Mayfield goes 98 yards on 8 plays in 1 minute and 35 seconds to stun the Las Vegas Raiders, who were 5-7, knocking on the 6-7 door, coming back into the playoff race. This was massive, okay? This is the most excited I've been about the Rams since the Super Bowl, easily. I don't think I've ever been that excited for a regular season game. That felt weird. That felt really weird. I was like, it was an out-of-body experience. When he did that, I knew he was doing it. I felt like I knew he was, once they got down to that point, I was like, he's going to throw it in the end zone, and this is going to be a touchdown. Sure enough, he did. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. And I'm happy for him because this guy, he's gotten, flack from me. He's gotten flack from everybody. There are people that have turned their back on him. Look, I'm one of those people. I flip-flopped on him multiple times. I think I flip-flopped on him more than anybody, if I'm being honest, because I loved him coming out of college. He had that just like that hard-nosed demeanor that like, I don't give a shit what you have to say about me. I'm going to beat you. And I just felt like that he had that dog in him. I watched him at Oklahoma. I'm a Kansas Jayhawk fan, as you can see in the background. So I watched him at Oklahoma torch Kansas, but I also watched other Big 12 games. And I don't know, man. I felt like, he looked like he was going to be a big time player. I was surprised to see him go first overall, was rooting for him to turn around the Browns. The Browns get kind of annoying to me. And then Baker, I saw him in the commercials and his play started to fall off. And Kind of felt like he was a little arrogant and all that. But then the moment where I started to kind of feel for it wasn't when he became a Ram, believe it or not. I started to come back on his side when I saw the way the Browns treated him. The Browns treated him like absolute garbage because they basically were like, you're immature, you're all that. And then they basically are like, all right, we're going to go out and get Deshaun Watson, who's literally the definition of immaturity in a nutshell. So then he goes to Carolina. Carolina grabs him, and he plays there, and he has some moments, right? He threw 6 touchdowns. He also threw 6 picks. But his offensive coordinator, again, for the millionth time, was Ben McAdoo. If you guys don't know who Ben McAdoo is, just ask any Giants fan. He was the head coach there somehow. Okay? This guy's known for being an offensive coordinator because his quarterback coaching time was in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers. Like, that's hard to even do. So Ben McAdoo, there's no imaginative play calling there, held back Baker. So to see what he's doing, you know, and just a limited opportunity here, okay? I mean, it's a big opportunity, but a limited amount of time to prepare. He was literally on the plane he got off the plane at like 8 p.m. on Tuesday, okay? So he literally had 1 day of practice, and then he was taking all the snaps pregame. Man, I can't say I'm speechless because I'm saying words, but I can't really believe, and I can believe what we just witnessed because that's Baker Mayfield. He is Hollywood. This is a perfect fit for him. I just hope that they keep him. Obviously, he's going to keep starting. Okay, he's the starter the rest of the year, no doubt about it. But I'm hoping, regardless of Stafford, they keep him in the building, at least as a backup. If Stafford leaves, I want this guy under center next year. I really do. I want this guy under center. Look at what he was doing. Okay. And I'm going to get to the donation. I appreciate you guys donating, by the way. I see it. I'm going to do that right away. Real quick, though. Look at what he was doing with Ben Skoranek, Tutu Atwell, Van Jefferson, Cam Akers. Guys, imagine him next year throwing to Cooper Kupp. Seriously. What this guy was able to do, spreading out the ball, his first 3 passes the game were to 3 different receivers. Just imagine if he was throwing to Cooper Kupp right now. And he'll get that opportunity if he comes back next year and he's the starter and God forbid, Stafford has to hang it up. Or if he's the backup, eventually he could become the starter. So let's get into donations because you guys are freaking awesome. I never want to discount donations. I just, I get rambling. And Jake, you were right all the time, bro. Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you, Fernando. Appreciate you. I don't know why it's not showing my comments. Let's see if I can fix that on the fly here. I just kept saying, man, I was like, this game feels weird. And I had the Rams winning 31-27, and that's not the game we got, and I'm okay with it. I still found this game enjoyable. I know it sounds weird. I enjoyed this game. I enjoyed watching this game. Even when they were down 16-3, I was like, there's some good things to take away from this game that I actually enjoyed watching. So that's what I will say in regards to that. Let's see. Where is the donation? Really? I'm trying to find the donation here. Let's see. Restore chat. Okay, so I think Ramsey is falling off a bit. Thoughts? I don't think so. I think it's been a rough year, and I don't think he has a lot of help in the secondary, and he was just beat by, one of the best wide receivers in the league. So I won't hold it too much against him. I understand people are going to be a little worried, but I'm not too worried about him, to be honest with you. He had good coverage. I mean, Adams is just amazing, if we're being honest here. Rodney, thank you so much for becoming a member. Appreciate you. And then Zakwa, Lions fan here. Mad about the pick, obviously, but glad for Baker. He's an underrated quarterback with still a lot of talent and a lot in the tank. He's a top 20-ish quarterback in the league when he's got the right situation. I agree. I absolutely agree. And thank you so much for donating. I really appreciate that. Sorry about, the pick. I'm sure it won't be It won't be bad. you, trust your pick is still probably going to be decent, but it felt good to have that one. They've lost 6 straight. I forgot what it means to win almost, not quite. But no, I hear you though. I appreciate you donating. Nathan, appreciate you also donating. Let's see here. I'm trying to get the donations up in the comments. I don't know why the comments aren't working, folks. I apologize. Even with bad ref calls, Baker still pulls out a win. Also, Atwell is proving he's the least a wide receiver 3. Try to tell people, Atwell just needs time. He just needs, not even time, he needs opportunities. I mean, that's the thing, right? I don't know, man. I loved so much about this game. To get Skoranek going again, see what Atwell can do. It's hard not to like, a game like this, man. It's really hard not to appreciate something like this because it's been a rough season. I'm not going to lie. And everyone knows that. They're 3-5 at home this year. So I'm sure it's been rough for the faithful at SoFi. But when you get games like this in a bad season, it just brings you back to the same old sorry-ass Rams. It brings you back to the days where Steven Jackson and whether it was A.J. Feely or Mark Bulger or Keith Null or whoever, they just had that one game every year where they would just come out to battle. And they took down, like the Saints, for instance. The Raiders aren't a great team. They're not. But this was a good, very, very good win. The defense needs some credit here. We could talk all we want about, the defense, this game's over, because I saw that. Defense this, defense that. Well, guess what, guys? The defense gave up 302 total yards. So the Raiders, with a full-on game plan, with a full-on offense, having their best weapons, having their starting quarterback, and the Raiders only had 20 more yards than the Rams on offense. Oh, by the way, they had 3 fewer plays. They went 5-13 on third down compared to the Rams 4-12, and they had fewer first downs. The defense was great. Okay, the defense was great. They really did a nice job holding them to 16. I mean, you're going to win most games when you do that. The huge turnover. You talk about Greg Gaines in the interior, what he was able to do, forcing that interception. That was so crucial, man. He forces that interception, and they're in this game. I mean, the Raiders are driving at halftime to, throw another touchdown in the end zone. I mean, that's the thing. Like, you look, and they're up 13-3. And that stop, Greg Gaines pushing the guard right into Carr, forcing the interception to Ernest Jones. If they turn that into a touchdown, that's a 20-3 ball game. I don't think the Rams come back from that. I really don't. There was way too much that went against them that they were playing against that I don't think they come back from that. So just wow, what a game for real. We can get picky all we want about Sean McVay abandoning the run, but they also got down, and they got down in a game where while the defense was making stops, their offense wasn't able to, put the ball in the end zone. So you kind of have to go away from the run a little bit. But, I don't know, man. I feel like this is one of those wins where it doesn't lead to anything this year. You're not going to go to the playoffs, but this is one of those things that you can build off of. And it's also a indicator here that if, you're looking at everything. You win a game like this and you fight the way you did against Kansas City and you fight the way you did against Seattle. It tells me that this team isn't even close to imploding. Okay. People were worried about an implosion. People were worried about, greatest show on turf type stuff where they just crumble after the Super Bowl. This has been a nightmare of a season. But it doesn't have to end poorly. They can end strong. They can win a few games at the end of this year, make it fun. Maybe this was supposed to happen. Maybe this was supposed to happen. Maybe they were supposed to have a bad year. They were supposed to be in a situation where they needed Baker Mayfield. They pick him up, and now maybe he's their franchise quarterback moving forward. If Stafford gets shut down and has to retire, or he's your backup and then he becomes the heir to the throne after Stafford retires. So I don't know, man. Just something about this felt weird from the get-go. And I don't know. When things feel weird, I point it out. It doesn't always have to mean anything. I thought it was weird. The year they went to the Super Bowl. I thought it was weird in 2017. I was like, I'm not getting the Super Bowl vibes from this team, but I feel like they're going next year, and they did. And I was watching, in 2020, and I'm like, I have a feeling they're done with Goff, and I feel like they're going to get that guy and go over the hump. And then when they got Stafford, it wasn't a feeling anymore. It was like, I know they're going to win the Super Bowl with Matthew Stafford. This is what they've missed. So just to see everything, and obviously, again, you'd like to be able to see this team play in the playoffs, but you just take what this team can give you right now, and just the fact that they are playing so tough and winning this game on a short week after a brutal loss to Seattle when teams would have folded, like a lawn chair. I mean, you're 3-9. You lose the game on technically the final play last week to Seattle. And then this week you beat a team on the final play. Funny enough, the Raiders beat the Chargers last week on the final play, if I'm not mistaken. So, just a lot of crazy stuff right now. But this is a big win for the Rams. It's just a good thing, good sign to see over and over and over and over again. That this team is continuing to battle. You can say what you will about this team, but once again, folks, they have been in every single game in the fourth quarter all year, no matter who it was. This team is always in it. They're always fighting. They lose 27-23 last week. They lose 26-10 against the Chiefs, starting their third string quarterback. In Kansas City against the number one offense. They hold that offense to 1 of 6 in the red zone. And then obviously they let that get away from them in the fourth quarter. They lose Stafford mid-game. They end up losing 27-20 to the Saints. They lose 27-17 to the Cardinals, even though they were in that game in the fourth quarter. They lose on the last play of the game to the Buccaneers, 16-13. They're in the fourth quarter against the 49ers. They lose 31-14. They beat the Panthers right before the bye, 24-10, pretty much dominate that game. 22-10, they lose to the Cowboys after the defense dominates. The offense is nowhere to be seen. And, they're still in the game the entire way. The Rams are driving at one point to try to tie the game against the Niners in primetime on Monday Night Football, and they throw a pick six, so they're in the game there. They beat the Cardinals 20-12. They, of course, beat the Falcons 31-27. And everyone forgets that Buffalo game was 17-10, at the start of the fourth quarter. So they've been in every game this year. And I have a tremendous amount of respect for any team that is going to fight like they do, and that is a hell of a win. That is a hell of a gutsy call by Sean McVay to actually play Baker Mayfield. It's one thing to say it. Okay, I wasn't even sure I was buying it. When I heard he was going to be active, I'm like, all right, he'll have a couple packages here. He played Baker Mayfield, basically started him. He let Wolford start the game, and then he's like, nah, Mayfield's our guy. And I don't know, man. He only threw one touchdown, right? He only threw one touchdown, but he didn't turn the ball over, and there was just something about his performance today where I felt like he could have had 3. The Cam Akers fumble kind of flipped the game on its head. The really, really bad hooking call, they called a hold on, Rob Havenstein when Atwell got the first down. That was really bad. Both of those were in the getting close to the red area. The Rams, they deserve to win this game. They let things get in their way, and they were still able to overcome and come back. And Baker Mayfield leading, a crazy 17 play, 75-yard drive to put them within a score. The defense gets a crazy stop with 1 yard to go. They get a crazy stop, so you got to give hype to Raheem Morris's defense because they had to make that happen. And then they gave Baker a shot. They get a crazy punt where Brandon Powell lets it go. It goes down to the 2-yard line. And then you see Baker Mayfield go 98 yards without really any sort of experience playing with this team. He had never played in a game with this team before, and I'm just repeating myself at this point, but you get the point. I mean, he had one practice. That's it. He had one practice. I can't even believe what we saw. I mean, I can, but I can't. That was unreal. That's seriously, I don't think that's ever happened. But like I said, I was open. I told you guys I flip-flopped on Baker, but I flip-flopped on him before the season started. I flipped back to him after the Browns treated him like shit. But it's what I've been telling you on the podcast, guys. I felt like this guy gave you a chance to win. He gives you the best chance to win. He's exciting. He's lead. If you guys didn't know this, I tweeted out on Twitter. He leads, and this was before the game. This is before the game. He leads the entire NFL shop in. He's the top selling jersey right now on NFL Shop, ahead of Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. That number 17 on the Rams. I mean, I'm just saying. This guy is Hollywood, and playing him made this game a lot of fun tonight. It really did. Man, I'm excited. I really am. This team, gives me excitement because they don't play until Monday next week against the Packers. It's always tough, playing in Green Bay, but they don't play until Monday next week. And this team gets an opportunity to have a mini bye week and get Baker up to speed, even though he seems pretty much up to speed. Also, do you know why this is so great besides all the other things I said? Baker Mayfield, what's the biggest knock on him? What do people say? He doesn't care enough. He doesn't put in the work. He's not that smart. Doesn't this game kind of throw all of that in the shitter if you really think about it? I mean, come on now. If Baker Mayfield doesn't put in the work, then how did he learn this offense enough to actually run it, throw 35 passes, and win this game? I don't know. That was a lot of fun. We deserve that. It's been hard covering this team this year. Obviously, I don't back down from a challenge, but not going to lie, doing 6 straight losing live streams right after the game kind of wears on you a little bit. And holy shit, we have over 820 people in here. Thank you all for being in here. I appreciate you all. Be sure to hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe if you haven't already. The OU faithful, right? There are a lot of you Baker Mayfield fans in here. I know it because I'm seeing you on Twitter, and I appreciate you. I know a lot of you are jumping ship and becoming Rams fans to support Baker Mayfield. Please do yourself a favor and subscribe to the channel. There'll be plenty of Baker Mayfield coverage on this channel and then some. So just make sure that you get those thumbs up in there. We get like 830 people, man. Just a lot of people for a regular season game for a team that is 4-9. This is the most viewers I maybe have ever had. I might have gone over 1,000 before. I don't remember. But wow, it's a lot of live stream viewers. So I really appreciate you guys being in here. And, I want to talk a little bit more about this game. I thought Bobby Wagner's stop on, Derek Carr trying to get that first down was massive. Okay. Got to give him credit. He is balled out. He's another guy who the critics were saying is funny. He never was, ever considered washed when, other teams were looking at him. But as soon as the Rams signed him, all of a sudden Bobby Wagner's washed. It's funny how that works. Wagner had 14 tackles today. He had the huge stop on 3rd down. Really like the way Bobby Wagner's played. He's a true sideline-to-sideline linebacker. Thought you saw some good things out of Troy Hill. Had a really nice stop later on in the game, blitzing off the edge and, getting him behind the line of scrimmage. He had 7 solo tackles, 9 tackles in total. The Rams did not sack the quarterback. They did not sack Derek Carr. Carr had a relatively clean pocket. There was only 1 tackle for a loss, which is Keir Thomas, which he does a great job, man. He is a UDFA. He is a rookie, and he does an outstanding job of setting the edge. I don't think people give him enough credit. I'm excited for his long-term development. But when you look at it, Amik Robertson had a sack on Baker. Max Crosby was all over the place. Bilal Nichols, Chandler Jones, these guys got after Baker, and he did not turn the ball over, and Derek Carr turned it over twice. I like Derek Carr, but the Rams held Derek Carr to 137 yards. Devontae Adams had 3 catches for 71 yards, and while we were oohing and awing, they weren't scoring points. Josh Jacobs, as great as Josh Jacobs is, and he's very, very good, the Rams held him to 3.7 yards per carry on 27 attempts. That is a very good day by the Rams defense. They did a great job. And I think really when you look at this game, Baker Mayfield was able to play off this defense, and I think this defense was able to play off the back of Baker Mayfield. When you have a guy at quarterback that you believe in, and you have a true signal caller that you feel like you're in this game, they give you a chance. It's easier to play defense. It's easier to be in that moment. And I feel like Baker, he kind of gave this defense the feeling of, hey, I have a chance here. Like, we can do something here with this guy. We have a chance to win a game finally, and I think that's what happened. Rex, thank you so much for donating. Baker, baby. I think Skip, Bay, and myself was the only people to believe in Baker. Yeah, before this game, I was pushing for him to be claimed, and I was pushing for him to start. And I got news for you. As this game went along, I'm like, they're only going to win this game if they keep him in there. I was worried that McVay would go back to Wolford and maybe give Perkins a shot. And I like Perkins, okay? Perkins is a friend of the show. I really like Perkins. I don't know why Perkins is behind, Wolford, but Baker has to be the starter moving forward. And then we'll see. Obviously, with Stafford, does he retire? Does he come back? I think he comes back. But if it's a medical issue and he has to retire, then he has to retire. I'm a little concerned about the spinal cord injury. Anytime you're dealing with spinal cord injuries, that's kind of worrisome. So, I am a little concerned about that. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm not. But I hope, whatever's best for him, he does it. I'm not pushing Stafford out. He's done way too much for this team in such a short amount of time. He's not going to get pushed out by me. I know some fans might do that, and that's, your prerogative. But I just think a world where Stafford is the starting quarterback and Baker Mayfield's the backup until Stafford has to leave is a world I want to be in right now, because I think Baker Mayfield works so well in this offense that I'm really, 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 really exciting. Really, really excited to see him, take it off. This might be his last stop, folks. And I know people were saying that before, like as a joke, right? People were like, "Oh, this is his last stop," and then he's out of the NFL. And I think people have this because he was a Brown, right? He played in the Browns. He was a shorter quarterback. He's mobile. People think about this guy, overly confident. They associate him with Johnny Manziel, and he's nothing like Manziel, because Manziel wasn't a winner. Manziel was a whiner, okay? Stafford's a winner. Baker Mayfield's a winner, okay? What he was able to do with the Browns before he had the shoulder injury, before the falling out, I don't think he gets enough respect. And I'll be honest, I don't think I gave him enough respect. The guy is a baller, and man, I'm so psyched. And the best part about it is that you win this game, and now you don't have to worry about it. Like Sunday, you can just enjoy the games. The Rams won this week. You wait until Monday Night Football, you get another primetime game. Then I think you have a game on Saturday or Sunday. The week after the Christmas game, right? Because Christmas is coming up, that little thing. So, yeah, they play the Broncos on Christmas, and I guess Baker Mayfield is going to teach Russell Wilson how to win football games. I don't know. But in all honesty, though, this was a team effort. I thought you saw some good things out of special teams unit. The offense stepped up. I'll go back and look at the tape and everything, but based on what I saw in real time, I thought Ben Skoranek made some huge plays. The 32-yard grab when he had to have it, huge. Tutu Atwell, knowing where the out-of-bounds marker was, staying in bounds, making that play. Just really, really, really excited for Atwell's, his long-term, trajectory. I like, Malcolm Brown had a couple big catches. Van Jefferson, of course, that we already talked about. But this is exactly what I mean. You're now able to develop and you're able to evaluate. And I think Tutu Atwell is only going to reap the rewards for this. And so is Ben Skoranek. Now, unfortunately, in this game, I got a notification that Jacob Harris was doubtful to return, and I saw him grab his shoulder and immediately go down on one of the punt returns. I'm worried that might be the end of Jacob Harris, because if he's got a shoulder injury, they might cut bait. He's had a hard time staying healthy. He's never really gotten a chance on the offensive side. I hope he's going to be okay. I do. I like the guy, and I hate injuries, period. I mean, it's really just that simple. So hoping Jacob Harris came out unscathed. Not really confident that was the case, but, I think that's... that's pretty much everything there. The Rams move on next week. They'll play the Green Bay Packers, who also aren't in really a great shape right now. They still have an outside chance to make the playoffs, but they're not exactly like in the thick of things right now. Things are definitely they come off a bye. They're 5-8. So the Rams could effectively knock them out of the playoffs in a sense if they win. That'll be an interesting game. I mean, I can't see why the Rams would be favored in that game, because you're going up against Aaron Rodgers and, all that. But, maybe they are. Let's start answering some questions, right? Because I'm just rambling, I think, at this point. Not really, but, Yes, you were. Yes, you were, Michael. You absolutely were. It was a fantastic game. You're absolutely right. I felt like that was fun all the way around. There was something about seeing number 17 and seeing Baker Mayfield under center. It just gave me like a renewed energy. I enjoy Rams games, even if they're bad. But there was just something about this game that just kind of gave me some hope, and it felt good to see it, see Baker moving the ball. And man, look, maybe in the past they don't win that game. I mean, I'm just these games. I mean, they were not far away from losing this game. And so I don't know. I just think it's one of those things, man, where, yeah, I mean, we've seen them lose this game how many times? They lost it this past weekend. I'm very excited, the way this turned out. And the hope is that they can really build off this. And I think they can. But that's certainly the hope, that they can build off this. And, I don't know. I at this point, I feel like I'm rambling. I'm just going to go back to answering, the questions and everything, but it's just crazy, man. Yeah, hopefully, right? I mean, Greg Gaines was a monster. He just a terror in the interior all game long. I don't know, man. I feel like what he's been able to do without Aaron Jones, I'm looking at Aaron Jones on the screen on my iPad here. Aaron Donald and Ashawn Robinson. I've been very impressed with Greg Gaines. He's become a legit player, and he took over as the guy, I think, on the defensive side when you really needed somebody. No sacks, but he got a lot of pressure. He was good in the interior. You saw a really nice play, I thought, out of Marquise Copeland. He had to go from like sideline to sideline to stop, Jacobs. So, I'm a big fan of Greg Gaines. Hopefully they can retain him. I'm not entirely sure that's going to be the case. Jake, were you just as pissed off as I was about the refs tonight? Yes, I was. That call against Coleman Shelton for one-handed little push was total BS call. Yeah, it was awful. It was a terrible call because both guys were doing it, and then another guy pushed him, and the ref only saw Shelton push, because that's normally how that works, and they threw a 15-yard penalty for that. That's ridiculous to me. Turns a field goal, Matt Gay would have had into a 61-yarder. I don't mind it now because it made the game more exciting, but still, it was definitely a frustrating call. And then the one, again, I mentioned, you have the bubble screen to Atwell, and Atwell is already gotten past the line, and there's a little bit of a hook by Rob Havenstein. That normally doesn't get called, and they called it, and it killed the drive there. The Cam Akers fumble was really frustrating, and then that pass interference call deep down the field to Atwell, which eventually he got the makeup call there down the stretch. But yeah, I mean, I thought the refs were pretty bad, and they also missed. Riley Dixon got decked. I know everyone saw that. Everyone saw that. I had people that are Raiders fans telling me that was ridiculous. People that hate the Rams were DMing me on Twitter like, dude, these refs are terrible. I'm like, I know. Like, Riley Dixon punts the ball, and the guy goes over after the ball's already left his foot, and he just decks him. They throw the flag, and then they pick it up. I don't know, man. And they never explained it. So, like, it was confusing because Al Michaels is like, I don't know. Like, I don't know, man. Like, it was, so, confusing stuff for sure. But they got the win. I'm not going to complain about the officiating any longer. It was not good, but they were able to win despite the fact it was so poor, right? And no one likes a referee complainer. If you're just always talking about the officials, that's just gets old, right? I mean, people get over that and it's tiresome and all that. So anyway, just a great game. And, yeah, I absolutely am with you there. The officiating was bad, but now that they won, I'm not going to complain about it. Had they lost, I'd still probably be bitching about it a little bit. Yeah, the refs are annoying. I hate them too. I mean, but that's their thing though. Oh, I can't wait to hear the JB Long radio call. I thought they had a nice call on the broadcast, if I'm being honest. I thought, Al Michaels did a nice job of staying in the moment. It was better than the Super Bowl call. I know a lot of you would agree. I'm a huge Al Michaels fan. I would love the day to be able to interview him someday because he's awesome. But that Super Bowl call was a little lackluster to what we expect. To the guy who's like, do you believe in miracles? I don't even think he knew that the game was over when it was over, but who cares about any of that? Havenstein struggled, but you have to give him credit. The O-line played solid. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Havenstein struggled. He also had the hardest job today. His job was, hey, make sure Max XX Crosby, doesn't hit Baker Mayfield. Easier said than done. Max Crosby is one of the best pass rushers in football, and he proved that tonight. And he's more than just a pass rusher. He's a true edge defender. I mean, he does it all. So just really, really, you gotta have your hats off to him. He played an outstanding game, no doubt about it. Outstanding game from Max Crosby. But at the end of the day, the Rams did enough to win, and you got to feel good about that. And I feel like there are people that are feeling good about this that are like, man, I'm not going to lie. I didn't like Baker before. Starting to like Baker a little bit. Like, I know I'm already seeing it. I'm seeing the texts I'm getting from people who are texting me in my iMessage here. I'm seeing, if you're in here, because I can see some of you are like, hey, I'm in your live stream. Yeah, I'm seeing your text about, oh, maybe I was wrong about Baker. I'm happy for him because he didn't get, yeah. I see you. Man, I am happy for him. I'm happy for the Rams too. They've already earned, in my opinion, they earned a win last week against Seattle. That was a brutal loss. And just to come back and win this game, like I said, they needed it. Man, I'm so stoked. So stoked. Appreciate you donating, Rifty. Let's see. Top 3 regular season win for me as a Ram fan. The other 2 being the 0-4 comeback against Seattle, and the other is 18 Chiefs. I'll be in Green Bay next week cheering our boys on. You are my link to Rams fans. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for donating. What I will say is that this has to be up there for me as well. I would say it's right up there with the Chiefs game. It's right up there. I think the Chiefs game is probably the best game I've seen, but this is probably the most excited I've been. I don't know why. I went way crazier after Baker threw that touchdown than I did for the Chiefs. The Goff touchdown to Everett, which was still insane. The Rams win against the Vikings that same year was one of the greatest quarterback performances I've ever seen. And Jared Goff just put on a clinic. That was another great game. The Seattle game, you're talking about the one with Sean McDonald catching that touchdown. Absolutely would agree with you there. I was little, but even I still remember that. There are definitely a lot of ones out there. I mean, I still enjoyed the 52-0 win over the Raiders when Trey Mason and Zach Stacy went off against them. But, oh, man, that's he went 98 yards, folks. Still haven't gotten over that. Still have not gotten over that. All right, anyway. Yeah, he had a hard time. But, hey, this guy, he had a tough matchup tonight. We know he struggles against the speed rush. And I don't know, man. I give him props for being out there. He's been out there the whole year, and I'm sure he's somewhat banged up, but he's continuing to play through it. It's been a tough year. Appreciate him playing every single game. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. He went 98 yards in a minute and 30 or whatever. That's not easy to do. Oh, man. Jake, do you think Mayfield will be back up next season? You got to imagine they're definitely talking about a potential, re-signing, interior wise, not necessarily to him right away, but I'm sure they want to keep him here. I'm sure McVay is going crazy. I have not seen the post-game stuff yet, so I'll watch that after. But I'm sure McVay is very happy, and he deserves it too, man. We bust on McVay, but that's our job, right? Because during a season where you're 3-9, now 4-9, but you're 3-9, you're 1-4 on the road, nothing's going the right way, and you're just seeing these things that McVay's doing that are very uncharacteristic. You bring it up. I mean, that's what you do as an analyst. That's what you do as a podcaster, a reporter, whatever. I'm not a reporter. I'm an analyst, and talk show host, whatever you want to call it. But the point is, that's what you do. So I love McVay. Don't discount how much I love this guy. I handpicked him. That's the guy I wanted before they even were rumored to interview him. And, I stand by that he is going to be the best coach in the NFL. I think he's just missing a few things. I know he already won the Super Bowl. He's the youngest to win a Super Bowl. He's still the youngest coach in football. But there are times where I feel like he can do better. And at the same time, let's not lose sight of the fact that it's been a rough freaking year for this guy, okay? He does not look like he's having fun coaching. I know he probably is deep down. I'm sure he's enjoying this in a weird sense, like trying to get the most out of it, trying to learn from it. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger approach. But it's not easy. There's no way it's easy to sit there and, coach a football team when you're constantly losing like that and figuring out different ways to win, right? It feels like nothing is working. That's the worst feeling in the world. So, I feel for him, and I'm happy that he was able to get this win as well, because you see it. They're so close, man. And that wasn't the case last year. No one's going to feel sorry for McVay and the Rams because they won the Super Bowl. But, they'll be back next year. I have no doubt. I would not be surprised they won it next year. Would not at all. This is not a team that is mailing it in. This is not a team that is going to implode. They're not going to fire McVay. They're not going to fire Snead. They're not going to fire every which coach. They're not going to get rid of Stafford unless he retires. They're not going to get rid of Kupp. They're not going to get rid of their core. That's the thing with this team, is that they're not going to just get rid of their core, and they're not going to get rid of their coaching staff. This is not a team that's falling apart, and the window hasn't closed, okay? That just doesn't fit a narrative. But hate to break it to you, the window is still open. It did not close. So, people can say that might be a biased take and whatnot. It's not. The window never closed. Like, that's a real thing. I know a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, the window's closed. Rams have no chance, yada, 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 whatever. Didn't close. Just got the... It took a little bit to come up, but I appreciate you guys donating. I couldn't even think of the word. Got so many comments here, man. Season is done. This win was meaningless, so why did I get so emotional after this win? I felt so connected and could feel the emotion of this team. Jay Squirrels, that's what fandom's all about, right? I mean, when you're a diehard fan, what you experienced was diehard. It tugged on your heartstrings. You were in the moment. This is how you know you're a fan. If you're not reacting to this right now, you probably aren't as big of a fan as you thought. And I'm not talking to anybody in here, because if you're watching a Rams live stream at 12:17 a.m. after the Rams won a regular season game to go 4-9, like, then you're automatically a diehard. Like, if you're in here right now, you're going the extra mile in your fandom. So it doesn't apply to you, but there are probably people that went to bed and didn't really care. And that's when kind of the fandom is more casual and not really diehard, right? Not hating on it. I think all fans are great, and I appreciate all fans. They help me out, and they make this fan base fun, and they make it what it is. But not everyone is into it the way we are. And you guys are all diehard fans. You're either diehard fans of the Rams, Oklahoma, Baker Mayfield, Or you're maybe a Raiders fan trying to figure out why the hell I'm still watching this. I should be going to bed. Or you're a friend of mine, a family member of mine, or you just like football, right? Or you like my personality. That's the shot in the dark one, but maybe some of you out there like it. But appreciate you donating, my friend. Michael, you as well. Thank you so much for donating. Really appreciate that. You deserve another 5 for knowing it was McDonald that caught the pass. You are boy, dude. I defended your tweet on Rams World Order. Appreciate that, Rifty. It's just, I don't know, man. Like I love this team. I love covering this team. I love doing the live streams. I love, using YouTube, keep growing on YouTube, interacting with you guys. It's just a lot of fun. And so I really enjoy it. And that's why I absolutely love going live after games. Even when they lose, it like kind of calms me down. It gets me in a good state of mind. I try not to go too high. I try not to go too low. Just find that right balance, but also have some good interaction with people. Now, the super chats are great because I can actually pinpoint different comments and they're highlighted. The problem is I'm not going to get everybody's comment because when we have freaking 779 people and it's past midnight on the East Coast for me, I'm not used to having 779 people, and I'm not used to a chat activity, a viewer activity that is through the freaking roof. It is going so crazy right now that I'm trying to keep up and I can't. So I'm going to try my best to answer some questions here. Man, this is so awesome, and I really appreciate it. Rams legend Baker Mayfield, Super Mayonnaise, thank you so much for the donation. And yes, Rams legend Baker Mayfield, no matter what he does the rest of his career, he'll always have this game. No one can take this game away from him. No one can take the unprecedented nature of only practicing one time, getting claimed in the same week, learning the playbook on the plane, and only learning probably 15, 20 plays that are on your wrist, and going out there and changing plays at the line of scrimmage, getting everyone together to snap the ball and spike the ball, stop the clock, going down 98 yards. Like I said before, the guys that go down 98 yards with a minute 30, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Matthew Stafford, Joe Burrow, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, the best of the best. Well, now you can put Baker freaking Mayfield in there, who is behind a makeshift offensive line, which is like they've started 15 offensive linemen this year. He's surrounded by weapons, Ben Skoranek, Van Jefferson, Tutu Atwell, guys I like, but not Cooper Kupp, not Devontae Adams, okay? He didn't have anybody like that to bail him out, a Tyreek Hill, a Travis Kelce. No. And what is a quarterback safety net? What is the quarterback security blanket? It is a tight end. He did not focus. He did not check down. That's another thing. When did Baker check down? When did Baker be like, man, I can't do this. I'm just going to dump this off, dink and dunk? No, this guy was throwing past the sticks. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I'm still so pumped, man. The games like this just absolutely get me fired up. I mean, man, this is why I love football. I mean, it can be magical, sports can be magical. We're talking about, this is a 4-9 football team and we're all excited. This was an exciting game. This is something you build off of. Who knows? Maybe they go 8-9 the rest of the way. If they were to win the next 4 games with Baker Mayfield, I don't care if they miss the playoffs. To end the season like that is exactly what you want. And no, don't give me the whole, but Jake, I want a high draft pick in the second round. But Jake, I like the Lions fans. But Jake, I like Jared Goff. I want the Lions to have a good pick. I don't care. I like Lions fans. I appreciate you guys supporting the channel, but I can't, in all good faith, I'm not going to root against my team so they can give you a better first round pick. I'm sorry. Call me a bad guy all you want. I'm not going to do that, right? I want to see this team win out. I don't care. I don't care if they don't get a last place schedule. I think they're better than Arizona anyway, so I don't know if they necessarily deserve a last place schedule. I don't care. I don't. So I don't know. That's as simple as I can make that. So with, what is it? Technically, if we're talking odds, the Rams have no chance of winning the NFC West. So they would have to make the 7th seed if they were going to make it. But they would also make it at 8 and 9. I just don't see it. But again, stranger things have happened. I just want them to win out regardless. I don't care if they make the playoffs or not. I'm going to go with the approach of expect disappointment and you'll never be disappointed. That's what I'm going to do. Because I did that with Aaron Judge as a Yankee fan, and Aaron Judge became a Yankee. I woke up, best way to wake up, finding out a franchise player is staying with the team. Your favorite player staying with your team. That's a great way to wake up. So I'm going to go with that. I mean, I'm not going to get into you guys, I already told you, I'm not going to go into the playoff machine and try to conjure up different ways for the Rams to make the playoffs. I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. It's very, very possible that this is literally impossible. But if they go 8-9, they win out. They still have a weird shot. And I'll just let everything kind of play it out, right? This season's weird. I don't know. But like I said, like earlier, it kind of feels like this was supposed to happen. Like they were supposed to get Baker Mayfield. Probably sounds silly, but I don't know. Andy, thank you so much for donating. Appreciate you. Real MVP there. I'd like to apologize for Baker for slandering him and not giving him a chance. Man, I'm happy this was a Hollywood ending. All those Raider fans have to go home and live in the past. LA belongs to the Rams. That's another thing, man. How about those fans that were at that game? And Andy, it sounds like you might have been one of them. Those fans that were at that game, there's a Rams-Raiders rivalry. It doesn't really extend to the players anymore. They only play each other, once every 4 years. But the fans, the rivalry is real. You can definitely tell there's definitely still a rivalry. There's a lot of Raiders fans in LA. It's a rivalry. And to lose a game like that, now you know how it feels. The Rams lost games like that. They lost to Tom Brady. They lost to Geno Smith. So felt good to win that. Man. Crazy. I don't know what I'm more like, it's like a euphoric feeling, right? The win, but then also the viewership. Like, I love you guys, but I was not expecting this. I was not expecting this turnout. What is this turnout? 755 people in here right now? Really? We've been live for almost an hour, and there's still 755 freaking people in here. I would know it went down because obviously, but I mean, come on now. That's just crazy. That's just crazy, man. Wow. What a night. What a great week. Right? So far anyway. Stranger things could happen. But this is fun. This really is. I like interacting with you guys. I like talking about the game after the fact. I know I ramble, but this is my live raw reaction, right? I mean, that's really what it is. So, what I'll be able to do is watch the tape, go back and, circle things I like, make some notes, and then, bring it up on podcasts in a more concise way. I'll also probably put out some videos and we'll do some YouTube shorts as well. I think I dropped one, right before I went live. I actually forgot if I did it or not. I think I dropped the game-winning touchdown short. I think I did. It was he's insane. He's insane. Baker Mayfield is just that guy. He just doesn't care. I don't know. Yeah. What a man. Just awesome. Awesome stuff. What a freaking win. What a freaking win. You all deserve it. You all deserve it. All of you. I mean, if you're not a Rams fan, then I guess that's a moot point. But guys, be sure to hit the thumbs up. We're at 322 likes. We have 713 people in here, which is absolutely bonkers. Do me a favor and hit that thumbs up. We're almost at 7,000 views in an hour. So that's insane. I mean, I don't want to. Do I have to get off? I mean, I don't have anything to do tomorrow. Are you guys cool with a longer stream, like where we're just talking? Like, I mean, do you guys want me to stay on? I know I normally keep it like an hour because not everybody likes the longer streams, but I'll stay on if you guys want me to stay on. I don't know. I'm a man of the people. You're down? All right. Yes, sir. Stay on. All right. Cool. Keep going. Talk about from the Raiders' perspective. Okay. Yeah. So, all right. let's look at the Raiders, right? To be fair, I mean, I'm not trying to get everybody to leave here, but let's look at the Raiders here. I thought you saw some good things early on, really mixing it up. And then I thought they went away from what was working. You got 3 carries, 40 yards out of Mac Hollins. Basically what Josh McDaniels was doing is he took advantage of the fact that the Rams were, they were going with a little bit of a different approach, obviously with, we found out, as much as I love Michael Hoyt, we found out that weakness, right? Because Michael Hoyt is not the best as far as he's a very, very good athlete, but you can take advantage of that, right? He's not like a Von Miller on the edge, setting the edge. So when you're running those end arounds, you could take advantage of that. And I think that's what the Raiders did. I thought Josh McDaniels had a really nice game plan to start the game, came out with those end arounds, the big plays to Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs, obviously being a bruising back, scoring a touchdown. I thought you saw some really good things, out of those two, obviously. But I thought Mac Hollins could have done more in this game. It's kind of weird because even though the Raiders, we're winning 16-3 late in the game, I just feel like the Rams defense shut them down. I mean, I know they gave up 165 yards rushing on 38 carries, but that's only 4.3 yards per carry, and they only gave up 20 passes by Carr. They gave up 11 completions for 137 yards. The defense held Derek Carr to a 36.9 passer rating. Okay, he had a higher QBR than passer rating. I mean, I don't know. I really, this is an all-out, all phases win. And again, was it pretty the entire time? No, but I mean, my God. Jacob's finger injury was a problem. I hope he's going to be okay. I thought he ran pretty well. I mean, the Rams held him to 3.7. That's as best as you're going to do. But I thought he ran pretty well. I'm hoping the finger checks out to be okay. I thought on the defensive side, Max XX Crosby was great. I thought Perryman did a really nice job. Wasn't surprised with him. Hobbs had good coverage. Hobbs just got mossed. Let's be honest here. And Hobbs, I thought, had a good game. Like I said in the podcasts, he's one of the best tackling corners in the game right now. So, he had 9 tackles. He led the team in tackles. You had 4 sacks, like I mentioned earlier, with Chandler Jones, Bilal Nichols, Max Crosby, and Amik Robertson. Robertson, one of those feisty guys, man. I mean, he hits the ball, he hits hard. Former Ram Tyler Hall was on the other team. Actually, he got in a little bit. Hall was on the team. I think he was on their practice squad, actually. So they must have claimed him at some point, and I just didn't even pay attention to it. Pass breakups, you had 2 from Sam Webb and Max Crosby. Crosby was all over the backfield. Crosby was fantastic. And really, I got to say, I'm going to point the finger here. Jerry Tillery, what are you doing? I mean, thank you, but what are you doing swatting the ball out of Baker Mayfield's hands there? You get that 15-yard penalty. That's a costly one for them. Trayvon Merrick had a really nice tackle for loss. Crosby had 2. Crosby was everywhere. He had a great game. Nichols had a tackle for a loss. And then you had the forced fumble. Actually, it doesn't tell me who forced the fumble, so I actually don't know who forced the fumble. Chandler Jones recovered it. I'm trying to find who forced the fumble. And that was Chandler Jones. Okay, so Chandler Jones went off. Like, Chandler Jones forced the fumble and then took the ball. So he had a really good game. Sack, a forced fumble, recovery. That's a good day for Chandler Jones. So, really good stuff from that. Man, I think everybody wants a Max Crosby. I remember interviewing him with Alexis Kraft on the DTR podcast. And, he was a freak at the combine. We didn't know who he was until we went and we watched the tape after his combine, and we're like, wow, okay, we want this guy to be a Ram. We also did that with Alex Highsmith. By the way, those 2 guys are among the league leaders in sacks. So, yeah. Hopefully the Rams this year address the edge position, because Max Crosby was a 4th round pick. Alex Highsmith was a 3rd round pick. You can get good pass rush, and it doesn't have to be a 1st round talent. Look at Crosby. They drafted Crosby in the 4th round the same year they drafted Clelin Ferrell in the 4th overall. And guess what? Here's the cornucopia. This all comes together. You ready for this? Clelin Ferrell jumped off sides to give the Rams a 1st down to extend a drive. Don't forget that. Crosby was there blowing the game up as a 4th round pick that is taken over as a star. And the former 4th overall pick in that same draft was the guy that was offsides on 4th down and gave the Rams a 1st down. So that is that's kind of funny. That's funny. Anyway. Yeah, it was quite the ending. Quite the ending. Let's see. I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know about that one. I don't know if he'll get fired. I mean, maybe he will. I don't know. I prefer he doesn't get fired. I don't like rooting for guys to get fired. Unless, you happen to be a certain Yankee GM who I can't stand. That's completely different. But in reality, I don't root for people to lose their job. I just, obviously I'd like to get a replacement if I'm in that position. That's why I don't like the whole fire Raheem Morris. Also, there's only 2 defensive coordinators in the history of the Rams to win a Super Bowl. And that's Giunta and Morris. So Morris is one of those guys, but man, yeah, big time. That was big when he slapped the ball out of his hand. That's 15 yards, Crazy, crazy, crazy ending. I don't think they're going to get JJ. I don't think they'll get JJ Watt next year. I could see him going to the Steelers with his brother. I don't know, because they got a really good quarterback, not really good, but a guy that they like in Mike White. So I don't know. But I don't want Baker going anywhere. I want him to stay with the Rams. That's fair. He has. He absolutely has. See, I got kind of lost in the sauce. I didn't really see Russ Yeast that much. Maybe that's just me. Like when I go back to the tape, I'll be able to tell you, but I didn't see much of Russ Yeast, which isn't a bad thing. Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. That's pretty crazy. I don't think you're wrong here. When I go live, sometimes I lose my train of thought and I say things how I don't want to say them. So I'm not saying you're necessarily wrong. My bad if I used anything like the wrong definition or whatever. Oh, I know. That would be awesome. I'm just saying, maybe this is it. Maybe this was supposed to happen. Maybe they had to have a bad year. It's weird because no one will believe me when I say this, but when I was saying they're going to win the Super Bowl again, it's not that I didn't believe in it, but I was like, man, I could almost see them missing it and winning it in 2024, like the next year. Like it just, I don't know. That drought of back-to-back, the 2004 Patriots, that's a long time. It's almost like it's being gate kept in a way. I don't know. But that's hard to do, winning back-to-back Super Bowls, so maybe we should have all seen it coming. But what if this is supposed to happen? Like what if this was like Baker is the answer? What if the 49ers fans, think about this, that were saying that, oh, we don't need Baker anyway. Like, thank you for claiming him because he's trash. Like, what if he ends up being their franchise quarterback? Like Stafford Stafford retires or Stafford only plays one more year and then Baker's the franchise quarterback and he's the guy to get them over the hump against the 49ers. I don't know, man. That would be hilarious. Because, they lucked into Jimmy G. They were going to get rid of him. Because the Rams didn't retain Odell. They signed him to that year, and he wasn't ever picked up. See what I'm saying? So when he became a free agent, like he was never picked up. So it's past the compensatory statute of limitations. That's true. That's true. I don't know, man. If you're a Rams fan, then you got to take this for what it is. This is a great win. It's a fun win. There's a lot to be excited about. A lot to be excited about. I mean, my God. Just crazy. I actually started yelling like when he I'm still not sorry guys. Like I've talked about the game and I'm still not over what I just saw. And again, part of it is the game and part of it is the 652 people that are watching me at 12:39 a.m. So I yelled. Scream is more high pitched, I would say. I yelled. I had some bass to it. But it was like the Super Bowl. I was very happy. Honestly, the thing that isn't fair is when I say that's the most I've yelled since the Super Bowl. To be fair, I'm also a Kansas Jayhawk basketball fan, which as you can see over here, that says 2022. See? 2022. 2008, 2022. So as you can see, the math is there like that. I've had to wait a little bit. Okay. I'm a spoiled KU fan because they're a blue blood program and they're great. They're always good. They're always in it. But when they won against UNC, when they looked awful, okay, they did not look like they were going to beat UNC. I picked them to win. I even bet on them. I took the Kansas money line. I think they were down by 10 or 15 or 20. I forget what they were down by at half, but that game I went crazy. Jake, I'm sorry. I love you. I'll watch you until it's time for me to go to work in the morning. I love you too. I appreciate that. I don't know why you're saying I'm sorry. That's the opposite that you should feel sorry about. Oh man. Oh yeah. That was nuts. Yeah, my voice is a little hoarse. I mean, it's not bad, but it's definitely kind of weird. Baker just proved the USA wrong. Baker Mayfield went down the field and scored a touchdown down 16-3. He led a 14-point unanswered comeback. He drove down the field and went 17 plays for 75 yards in 9 minutes to make it 16-10. The Raiders defense, or the Rams defense, shut down the Raiders. They punted the 3-and-out, and then the Rams went down the field. Baker Mayfield led at the 2-yard line. They went 98 yards down the field and won the game. 10 seconds remaining. That's what happened. By the way, shout out Taylor Rapp. Taylor Rapp had the game sealing interception. Shout out to him. That was I'm sure that was a big moment for him. It's been a rough year for him, but hey, you gotta take what you get. Hey, Cam Akers wasn't great in this game, but he had a very important touchdown run. He got in there, But yeah, that's pretty much how the game went. Call off, Rams won, no work tomorrow. I know. Can you believe tomorrow's Friday? It feels like you deserve an off day after that. Was this the most exciting / emotional, meaningless game ever? Rams game ever? Yes. Rams game, yes. Absolutely. Man, Lions fans had to have been watching that like, because I mean, I'll be honest with you here. If the Rams win, which they did, and they win the way Baker just led them to win, they're 4-9. They play the Packers. They have something to play for. They're playing for pride, but they're not a team that's out. Like, they're continuing to fight like they still have a shot at the playoffs. I'm not saying they're going to make it, but think about this. If they beat the Packers, they move up the rungs. That pick is no longer in the top 5. If they beat the Broncos, who they should beat at SoFi on Christmas, now you're looking at a 6-9 football team. Then you got the Chargers. I don't think the Chargers are that great, and you're still at home. I mean, sure, it'll have the Chargers like, layout and everything at SoFi, but you're still at home. So I mean, there's no reason why the Rams can't win out. And if they win out and go 8-9, Lions fans are going to be very upset. But hey, you got a better pick than what you probably were expecting. Let's be real here. Matthew, thank you so much for donating. Baker freaking Mayfield, absolutely. I had stopped listening to the game on SiriusXM. I'm on the road. Checked the highlights and was like, what the hell? Oh my God. Can you imagine like watching that game in person? I mean, God, the people there, talk about giving people something to root for. Hey, I'm sorry to hear that, Mike Jones, who I'm glad you were able to get something out of this and get your spirits up, because that's a big deal. But keep the positive vibes. That's pretty awesome. If Stafford stays healthy, how many more years does he have at a high level, 3 or 4? I mean, if he stays healthy, then I don't know. I mean, he could play through his contract, but it's a matter of now that it's out there, now that he's had concussions and he's never had them before, and that's opened up Pandora's box. Now that that's opened up, now he's had, spinal cord contusions, things like that. I wouldn't be surprised if he calls it quits after next year. I think the one thing that is driving Stafford to not retire, I mean, I don't think Stafford wants to retire, but I think, Kelly is going to push for that. And rightfully so. I mean, he's done everything he needs to do. He doesn't owe anybody anything. But let's be honest here. I mean, like, he does not want to leave on a note where they miss the playoffs, or they go, they're not going to go 3-14 because they won their 4th game, because of Baker. But, if they go 4-13, like, that's not going to be okay for him. He's going to want to come back and change that. Right. So, I think it's good that he's able to kind of sit out these next 4 games, and he'll be able to really figure it out, like decide what he wants to do. I'm sure he doesn't want to leave it off on that note. I don't think he will. I think retirement was definitely in play, but he didn't end up having that second concussion, which we were worried about. The spinal cord contusion is a concern. But I think when you look at Stafford, I mean, this guy's an ultra competitor. I mean, what he did in Detroit, he earned his way to be in a position to win a Super Bowl with the Rams, to have a chance to create a dynasty. And now, and this is where the dynasty talk comes from, right? Because everyone's going to say this team's window is closed. And what was the biggest knock on the Rams? That they couldn't actually run it back and they couldn't have a dynasty. The biggest knock on the Rams about not having a dynasty is they didn't have a young quarterback. But if they had Baker Mayfield lined up after Stafford, who's to say that that wouldn't be enough? I mean, I'm just saying. Baker Mayfield with weapons and this offense, I feel very, very good about. Is it false hope? Who knows? But if you're looking at me to be a realist or negative or whatever towards Baker, it's not happening. Okay? It's not happening. I'm bought into Baker. I was bought into him. I was literally so stoked when they picked him up. I mean, you guys know, if you were in my live stream, for the Baker Mayfield announcement, I had that thing up the moment it dropped. Remember? I had the live stream up the moment it dropped. I was live. And then I had the live stream to prepare for the fact that I thought that they should claim him. So, yeah, man. But to answer your question, though, if Stafford stays healthy, how many more years does he have at a high level? I mean, I would say, 3 or 4 makes a lot of sense. I don't see him playing out of his contract. I don't see another contract. Not even convinced he's going to play through his contract entirely, which does put Baker Mayfield very much in play here. I don't know if I would say that. I like Baker Mayfield's play more than Goff, because what Baker Mayfield does is I like his style more. See, I'm more of the stockier mobile guy. I don't really like the tall giraffe type of, deep ball, right? Like Goff can make all the throws, but he also misses throws and doesn't have the mobility to escape the pocket. He also locks on the reads too long, whereas Baker, you could see him kind of going through and progressing, and he can throw off platform, he can throw on platform, he can play off script, he can run. I prefer that more, and also I prefer his tenacity. Like Baker Mayfield, like you see, like he plays pissed off. Like I said, it rubs people the wrong way. Not everybody, but it rubs some people the wrong way. Man, I'm really happy for the guy. I really am. I'm happy it worked out. At least in this game, no one can take this game away from him. So it is subjective. Absolutely. I mean, better when you're talking about Goff versus Baker, that's subjective. When you're talking about Goff versus Stafford, that's not. Stafford is better than Goff. There is no argument to say that Goff is better than Stafford. But yeah, just joined. Love the stream. Can you summarize what your thought about Baker is? Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate that. Yeah, at the end of the day, I think Baker did everything he possibly could to win them this football game. He went in there with, again, 1 day of practice, was, literally claimed. He found out he was claimed at 4 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesday, got to LA at 8 p.m. Eastern time, or 8 p.m. on Tuesday. Yeah. And so he gets to LA at 8. And then he's trying to learn the playbook on the flight. Like the Rams gave him the playbook, send the playbook. He's on the flight trying to learn it. Then Wednesday he has a full practice. And then Thursday is game day. So it's pretty much a walkthrough. Then you get to the stadium and you get ready for the game and you throw, you take a lot of snaps and practice reps and things like that. Pre-game, warm-up stuff, but nothing too extensive. And so obviously Wolford starts the game. He hands the ball off 3 times. They punt the ball away, and then Baker's in there, right? And so I just felt like the way he just took over, like the demeanor he had to just take over and make this his offense. It felt like his offense. There, were there nooks were there different kinks in what was going on? Sure, but I thought he really made it his offense, and this is not his offense. This is somebody that was basically just thrown into the fire, and he's like, all right, bet I'm going to do it. And he did it. He freaking won. So he's got to watch the headbutting though, because this team has had a history now with concussions. I don't think they're going to be okay with that. He's got to stop doing that. Don't headbutt a helmet. That's stupid. But man, what can you say, right? I mean, the guy made some big throws off platform, on platform, stepping up in the pocket, showing poise, throwing with accuracy, throwing with velocity, throwing with determination to actually throw the ball past the sticks, pick up first downs, throwing into tight windows, tight coverage, believing in receivers that he's really never thrown to. It was really fun to watch. Throwing to Ben Skoranek deep down the field. You're giving him a money ball there. You're throwing over the middle, again, draped all over. You're throwing a Tutu Atwell. I mean, Tutu Atwell is like my size, and you're throwing to him towards the sideline. You have the confidence instilled in him. Van Jefferson, you're doing those bootlegs. You're throwing sidearm, using all different arm angles. Just, you love to see it. You really do love to see that. So that's pretty much to summarize my thoughts on Baker is that, he better start. He's going to start the rest of the year. No doubt about it. This is his team for the next 4 games, and we'll see what happens with Stafford. Jake, I would love it if he just happened to fall into our laps. It seems that way. Seems like he did. Remember how only one team claimed him? One team claimed him. It was the Rams. Don't forget that. Houston's rolling with, Kyle Allen at the helm. He's got 4 interceptions and 2 touchdowns. They benched Davis Mills. They passed on picking up Baker Mayfield. And now the Rams have him. Like I said, this is a trial run. The trial run's looking pretty good right now. You ever play one of those like playable demos? You ever play one of those like maybe back in the day, maybe it dates some people here, but like I used to get like these demos on disc. Like it was PS2 or PS1 or whatever. And I would play the demos. I'd be like, this game's awesome. I'm going to buy it. Right. That's what was tonight. Like the Rams, definitely there's an internal discussion between the brain trust and like the brass of the Rams. And they're having this internal discussion like, this guy Baker, we want him to stay. Like he's a free agent after the year. We want this guy. We want him to stay on this team, at least in some capacity. Like this guy, yeah, we want him to stay around. It's like if you used a free trial for say like Amazon Prime and you're like, Amazon Prime slaps. I'm going to keep Amazon Prime. There you go. This whole trial thing, I don't know if the Rams can just agree to a contract right now with Baker, but I wouldn't be surprised if they get an extension done. I mean, there's got to be a long-term. They like him. They liked him before this. They like him a lot more now, I would imagine. Just 98-yard touchdown drive to win the game. That's just exactly what I would have expected. I mean, really. I was like, if the defense gives him a chance, ball game. I'm sure Raiders fans saw that too. That was your first game at SoFi? I haven't been there yet, but that's awesome. What a game to see, man. Terrence, you must have enjoyed it big time. That was... Exactly. Yeah, Baker, he was tipped off right away. He's like, oh, it's single coverage, and he just throws it up to Van. Yeah, right. I don't think he'll be doing that. Oh my God, it doesn't end. Chances are 0%. Let me check. Let me be fair to the chances. I'm not going to just say that they're 0%, but playoff odds. Wow, I couldn't even think of what I was saying. NFL playoff odds 538. So the Rams won that. They have a 0.1% chance. Okay. I don't think anything changes. If the Cardinals lose to New England, nothing changes there. If the Giants lose to Philly, the Rams 0.1% chance stays at 0.1. Then if the Lions lose, all of a sudden they have a 0.1% chance to win the Super Bowl now in simulations. That's really interesting. Let's say Seattle loses to Carolina. Rams still have a 0.1% chance. Let's see. Buccaneers defeat San Francisco. Still a 0.1% chance. I don't think anything's going to change this week. Dallas, still 0.1% chance, which makes sense. I mean, why would that be a big deal? Yeah. So then the next week, week 15, say the Rams beat Green Bay, that goes up to a 0.3% chance of making the playoffs. So then the Cardinals, they beat Denver, or they lose to Denver, now it goes up to 0.4 from what it looks like. The Falcons, they beat New Orleans, goes up to 0.5 for the Rams. And then let's say the Lions lose to the Jets. That's 0.6. So the Giants beat Washington, and that stays at 0.6. If they tie, that goes up to 0.7. So I don't know. We'll just say Washington. Say Washington loses that game. So the Giants win that game. So the Rams are at 0.6 right now into week 15. The 49ers, they don't matter, but then you would want them to beat Seattle at that point. So then Seattle would be 7-7. Rams now have a 0.7% chance, actually 0.8 now that it just updated. So 0.8% chance. Let's see here. Dallas doesn't matter. So really at that moment, you're really looking, if the Rams are trying to make the playoffs at that point, they beat Green Bay. You want Arizona out of it. So Arizona loses the next 2 games at Denver against New England, and they're 4-10. They're done completely. They'd be completely out of it. The Rams would be in it at a 0.8% chance. You guys are probably like, man, what the hell are you saying? So the Rams would be in it at a 0.8% chance, right? It's still in it. Then you have the Lions. The Lions would still, they'd be 5-9 with a loss to Minnesota and a loss to the Jets. Say they beat Carolina, they still have a 2% chance of making the playoffs. It hurts the Rams. But if the Rams beat Denver, then the Rams have a 1% chance. So now they're out of the point range. They have a 1% chance. They win the next 2 games. The Giants lose to Minnesota and stays 1%. And then you're looking, let's see here. 1 second. Okay. So we have Seattle. They lose to Kansas City. And now the Rams have a 2% chance. If they beat Carolina, which is probably pretty likely, the Rams are eliminated from playoff contention. So Seattle has to lose the next 3 games. The Rams have to win the next 2 games. So they'd be they'd have a 2% chance. The Commanders, if they beat San Francisco, that eliminates the Rams. So there's a lot of different things that have to happen. It's really, really, really practically impossible. But the Rams really want to root for the 49ers, unfortunately. They really want to root for the 49ers if they're trying to make the playoffs. If they don't worry about the playoffs, then whatever. You can root against the 49ers. But the 49ers are going to be a big-time team now that you're going to want to root for, moving forward. So let's see here. We got Seattle. They lose the next 3. I think that's really like the Giants. Yeah. So then you move on to week 17 now, and the Rams have to beat the Chargers. That puts them at an 8% chance to win it, to make the playoffs. Then Seattle plays the Jets. If the Jets win that game, then Seattle has a 11% chance. They have to lose the next 4 games. I mean, I think the Seahawks are going to win at least one of those games. But if they lose the next 4 against San Francisco, Kansas City, the Jets, and Carolina, now all of a sudden Seattle's fallen off at 7-9. The Rams are 7-9. The Rams have a 16% chance. Seattle is 11% chance. And now you would need the Commanders, who are 7-1, to lose to Cleveland. That would put the Rams at a 30% chance. And then you would need the Giants. Oh, the Giants had already made it. So the Giants, you don't even need to worry about. So it's really just between the Rams, the Commanders, and the Seahawks at this point. So as crazy as that sounds, Week 18, Rams beat Seattle. They have a 48% chance. Commanders lose to Dallas. And the Rams, I believe, would make it. If I'm not mistaken. I think I'm mistaken. Let's see. Oh, the Packers. I think I forgot about the Packers. So, okay, Detroit would have the winning common games tiebreaker. So if Detroit loses 1 more game or 2 more games, then the Rams make the playoffs. So a lot of crazy stuff. They need Seattle to implode. Okay. They need Seattle to implode. And I don't see the Rams making the playoffs. Like, let me just be very clear. I'm not like thriving off this. Like, I'm not like, yes, it's going to happen. I think it's actually really possible the Rams win out. I just think they need way too much to go their way in order to make the playoffs. I don't really see it. So I don't see it. It seems next to impossible, but I'm sure there's a better way to break it down. It's funny, we're Googling, how can the Rams make the playoffs? The only way the Rams can sneak into the playoffs is if the Rams must win all 5 of their remaining games: Raiders, Packers, Broncos, Chargers, and Seahawks. Later, GOAT. Appreciate you. So the only way to make the playoffs, the Rams win out, the Commanders or Giants lose out, the Seahawks lose out, and no other team can finish with more than 7 wins. That includes the Lions, the Falcons, and the Packers, who all have 5 wins. They can't have 8. So if they all have 7, that's fine. They can't have 8. So if that happens, the Rams would get in with the 7th seed at 8-9. Commanders would be the 6th seed at 8-1. And the Giants would be 7-9-1. They'd be out. And Seattle would be 7-10, and they would be out. Yeah, I'm telling you there's a chance. I mean, let's reevaluate this. Obviously, Seattle has to lose every game the rest of the way. That's about as simple as that can be made. It's still, yeah, if the Rams win out, they only have a 1% chance of making the playoffs. Like, they need that many things to go their way. So, you know. That's actually the sad thing, is that if they beat Seattle, we're talking a completely different game right now. It's a shame Baker wasn't cut earlier. I mean, let's be honest here. This weekend, if the Panthers win, the Eagles win, the Vikings win, the Rams can go up to a 2% chance of making the wild card in week 14. In week 15, the 49ers have to beat Seattle. You would want the Saints to beat you want the Falcons to beat the Saints because you have the tiebreaker over the Falcons head to head. You would want the Jets to beat the Lions. The Cardinals versus the Broncos. So you'd want the Broncos to win that game theoretically. The Commanders to beat the Giants. And yeah, so at that point, the Rams would have a 7% chance of making the playoffs at the end of next week. I mean, it can be done. I'm not saying it's impossible. It's very, 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 very unlikely. But, I mean, things go their way. Say the teams that they need to lose, right? They could be looking at a 20% chance of making the playoffs by the end of week 16, which is saying a lot for a team that is destined to have a losing record. So, still have 590 people in here. What? That's just crazy. Be sure to hit the thumbs up. Be sure to like, subscribe, all that. The subscribers went up like crazy. We're almost at 16,700. We're at 16,680. So if you guys want to do that, definitely be sure to subscribe. Help me get up there. Would really appreciate it. Appreciate everyone donating as well. I mean, you guys have donated over $100 tonight. Really, really appreciate that. You guys we're over 9,000 views, 570 people watching, 412 likes. Just awesome stuff. A very big long shot, but hey, Stranger things have happened. I want to know what is the most improbable playoff. The most improbable playoff berth in NFL history. So the most probable playoff berth, or one of them at least that I'm reading here, 2006, the Chiefs needed to beat the Jaguars. They needed Cincinnati to lose, Denver to lose, and Tennessee to lose the last game of the year. Seems that way. I did. I love seeing Tutu Atwell ball out, man. I love it. Good for him. Really happy for him. He deserves it. Led the team in targets with 9 tonight. 11 catches, 237 yards on the year, and a touchdown. He's averaging 21.5 yards per completion, yards per reception. So if you're doing the math here for the stats and everything, right now, Tutu Atwell has passed Van Jefferson, and he is 102 yards away from Allen Robinson on the year. Ben Skoranek passed Allen Robinson today. He has 38 receptions for 373 yards. Allen Robinson had 33 receptions for 339 yards. Higbee has 455 yards on 52 receptions, and Cooper Kupp, unfortunately, is going to finish the season with 75 receptions for 812 yards when he absolutely deserved to have a 1,000-yard season. Bummer there. But yeah, that's that. Fun fact, Cam Akers has 19 receiving yards. Austin Trammell has 13. I don't know why they don't use Cam Akers a lot in the receiving game. I thought he was a pretty decent receiver. Bryson Hopkins has 31. Ronnie Rivers has 29. Malcolm Brown has 35. Kendall Blanton is 35. Kyron Williams has 73. Henderson is 102. Powell is 135. So yeah, Atwell's moving forward. You like to see that. You like to see the growth. Sko as well. Love to see what Sko was doing. Number 17 for now. We'll see if he makes the switch to 6 next year. Maybe he can kind of negotiate with it. I don't know. I don't think the guy was about to get claimed and then come to the Rams and be like, I want this number. Like, that's not how it really works. I don't know, maybe, but I wasn't expecting him to. Jake, what do you make of OBJ recruitment tour? Crazy for a guy that looks like he won't play this year. Didn't like he went at the Rams for lowballing, knowing he couldn't play this year. Yeah, I mean, I like OBJ. He's one of my favorite players. But I think it did feel a little bit of like, extracurricular. There were some things that it's just like, all right, if he's actually not going to play this year, then this whole recruiting tour is he's just having fun and it's not really serious, which that's his choice. I think the Rams will be in play next year. Next offseason, they'll give him a run, but I got to say, I don't know. As much as I love him, he's one of my favorite players in the league, but I don't know if they need him. I mean, you look at the way Atwell's looks like he's gonna develop, right? Atwell, you got Kupp, A-Rob if they bring him back. If not, they're trading him and probably getting Cooks, or they're getting a pick and maybe they pick up Robert Woods if he becomes a cap casualty. Ben Skoranek has made strides this year. They really like Brandon Powell. So, things that people might stick their nose up to. These guys, this team likes them. Van Jefferson as well. So I don't know. I'm not guaranteeing OBJ will be back with the Rams. I initially thought that was the case. I don't think it's the case anymore. I think there's more of a chance. You can clip this if you want. There's more of a chance of Brandon Cooks or Robert Woods coming back to the Rams than OBJ. Remember I said that. All right. Great win. 1 a.m. so got to run. Great chance to let the kids play. Let Baker cook. Headbutts all around. Ramley and thanks, Jake. Appreciate you, CT Rams fan. Thank you so much for donating. And yes, that was just one of those things, man, where everyone deserved that, right? Everyone deserved that. Still 550 people in here. Crazy, crazy, crazy. For those of you who haven't, be sure to hit the thumbs up, also known as the like button. If you're on mobile, if you're in the chat, if you scroll out of the chat, you can still see it. It's right below the video. If you're on the computer or iPad or whatever, it should just be right below. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit the subscribe button, because we're trying to get to 17,000. So I made a goal to get to 30,000 subscribers by the end of next year. We'll see if I hit that, but that is my goal. I'm sticking to it. Next year's goals, 10 million views. We hit 5 million recently. So 10 million views by the end of next year and 30,000 subscribers. I didn't hit my 20,000 goal, so I'm going to hit it up a notch. We can do better, and I know I can do better, so I'm going to do better. We're gonna experiment more with YouTube Shorts. I got into them a lot more this year with like highlights and stuff, but I think I'm gonna do more like this type of stuff, but like with this setup and everything. But I'm gonna do the quick hitters, like the Baker Mayfield one earlier today. If you guys like that, more of like a breaking news, like informational type of thing. Baker Mayfield will be active. That got like over 2,000 views. It's just a quick hitter, YouTube short. I'll be doing that. So short form content, long form content, medium form content, whatever content I'm going to be putting out. And then got the NFL show that's around the corner. So we'll be talking about the NFL right around playoffs. We'll be breaking down the playoffs and everything. So there's that. The DTR podcast, the Believe in Rams podcast. You got the draft content coming, the off-season coverage, likely some guests. So spicing up the channel quite a bit. And I'm not going anywhere because there's over 500 people in here to entertain. So until you guys start leaving, I'm going to stay, if that's fair with you. I might get a little tired. I mean, it's almost 2 hours, right? Almost a 2-hour stream. It's past 1 a.m., but I mean, when you get opportunities like this to, have this many people in the audience, you got to take advantage of it, right? So, I won't be logging off until people start logging off in droves. Yes, I appreciate that. Yeah, we're just trying to get bigger, right? You just try to get bigger. My YouTube following has surpassed my Twitter following, believe it or not. Twitter following, I'm at 14.8K. And YouTube, I have 16,684 subscribers. So, we're getting closer to 17K, which is great. I mean, that's where I want to be. I've only been doing this since November 16th of 2020. So I think we're making great progress. I mean, just hit our second year, but yeah, Jake, what about Cohen if we go with a new OC who replaces him? Lincoln Riley if Baker stays, potentially Baker taking over at quarterback, Riley taking over as head coach down the road. What about Samples leaving? I don't think Lincoln Riley comes over unless Sean McVay retires. And then if Lincoln Riley had a chance to become the head coach of the LA Rams and Baker Mayfield was his quarterback, I think he would have to consider. And I think he would consider. But yeah, I don't think he'll do that unless that. Thank you so much, Wildman Samurai, I think you were already a member, so I think that's just a renew, but appreciate you. Yeah, Taylor Lewan, give me that LT from Titans first, then we talk OBJ. I agree with you. I brought it up because John Robinson was the GM, and now he's no longer the GM, which kind of always signals like there's going to be some big changes. Taylor Lewan feels like a cap casualty waiting to happen. He's dealing with an ACL tear, all of that. But he's only 31 years old, guys. And when the Rams got Whitworth, he was like 34, 35 years old. I feel like it'd be having Whitworth again. He's not Whitworth level, but he's very, very good. And he's a guy that could solidify the left tackle spot, which to me, I don't know. I feel like that's the type of guy you want at left tackle. You know? So I would be all for that. I don't know if he's not the answer. I just don't know what he is, right? Dealing with an Achilles tear, I mean, that's going to scare you. Maybe he has to move in at guard. If he has to kick in at guard, he's getting paid too much. They might have to move on. They might have to trade him away, something like that. But, you know, that's a real thing there. Yeah, I don't know. I think they would probably go in-house or they would probably go with, they would go after Jim Leonard, who they interviewed. Yeah, I actually interviewed him at the Senior Bowl. He was a funny interview because the dude just wants to play football. He doesn't care about like how he sounds. He's like, yeah, I just want to, put people into the ground and, impose my will. Yeah, I sat down with him at the Senior Bowl. He was one of my first interviews. I think Hoyt was an adjustment, and I'll go back and watch the film to confirm, but I think Hoyt was an adjustment because Hoyt is a really good pass rusher, high effort, but I think when they put in Keir Thomas, that was an adjustment that Hoyt wasn't really maintaining his assignment. Like he wasn't setting the edge, so they were able to have a field day. Notice they stopped doing the end arounds with Matt Collins as soon as they put Keir Thomas there. I'm not saying he was there the whole game, but when they did that, I think they definitely, they slowed down that run because that was giving them fits, That's true. That's true. I still would like him. For the right price, I'd be all for it. Appreciate you, Wildman Samurai, for donating. I try to make my channel rock, It's predominantly a Rams channel. I also cover the Jets, and I'm going to be expanding into NFL and maybe other sports. What I'm thinking is with the YouTube shorts, I might go into like sporting news, right? I'll give my thoughts on like a breaking news thing. Like I missed the opportunity with Judge. I missed the opportunity with Xander Bogaerts, but I had some thoughts on those. Keep in mind, I wrote for the game day, wrote baseball articles, wrote basketball, wrote hockey. So, I guess I could cover all the sports, and I would just only do it in a way that was the short form. That way I could focus all my energy on like football for the long form and the live streams. Right. So everybody, like at any point when we're talking about live streams, I have one rule. You don't tell people they can't ask a question, even if we're talking about Baker Mayfield or the Rams or the Jets or whatever. Like if somebody wants to ask a question about the MCU, I'm going to answer it. If somebody wants to ask a question about whatever, I'm going to answer as long as it's appropriate, because that's been the name of the game with JE Live. I want people to feel like, their voice can be heard, and, if they have questions, those questions can be answered. That's the big thing about a Q&A. Like when I go live and I play Call of Duty, like, that's me welcoming you in, like, hey, ask me whatever. I have no plan for this stream except to play games and just chill, and and so I do that. So it's a very unorthodox channel. It didn't start from a Madden franchise mode. It didn't start from streaming games. It didn't start from creating game videos. I wasn't really a gamer as a streamer. I really started from my writing. I turned writing into podcasting. Podcasting went into video, and now I do both. So that's really where I came from. But oh yeah, sorry about that. I forgot you're a Sox fan. Yeah, that was brutal. I do feel bad for you. And I'm a Yankee fan. I feel bad for you. That's just man. Any Padres fans in here? Because you guys are that guy that. I know it's way past. I don't think people use eBay as much anymore. Still plenty of people, but I don't know how many people in this chat actively use eBay. But the Padres are like that eBay guy who you're bidding against somebody the entire time, and then that guy goes in at the end and he's like, and like he steals, he hits the button, and then he ends up with the thing, and you're like, where did he come from? I didn't even know that guy was that's the Padres. They did it with Judge. They failed because Judge wanted to take less money to go to the Yankees. They did it with Judge. They did it with Xander Bogaerts. They're trying to do it now with Carlos Rodon. That is That is the Padres. That is the Padres in a nutshell. They are that guy in the eBay auctions that is watching but not actually bidding, and then they wait till the last second and boom. And you're like, where the hell he come from? There you go. Padres. He has. Yeah, Michael. I really like Michael Hoy. I know he didn't have the best day today, but I thought he put some pressure, made the pocket collapse a little bit. I don't think he got enough credit. I mean, I know he wasn't great at like setting the edge, but they were able to make adjustments. It's okay. Don't forget, this is also one of the premier channels that covers Ultraman from time to time. LOL and Arson Judge. Love that. Can I frame that? Arson Judge, man. I'm not one to trash reporters, but man, John Heyman is batting 0 this week. He has more strikeouts than Joey Gallo this week. Brutal. I don't know. You can't sleep now? I mean, how would you be able to sleep? That's not possible. Oh my God. Jacob Wayne on Twitter. He's the one that put together the really awesome, he writes for Lineups, and he put together this really awesome like thread on Baker Mayfield. And Jacob Wayne just posted a thing saying that like he basically bought a Baker jersey. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want one. I mean, I don't know if he's gonna end up wearing 17, but I don't know. Just that's so I love that. I mean, hey, I'm the one that broke that Baker Mayfield led the NFL shop in whatever I was saying in sales. God, I can't even talk. Yeah, Raiders are committed to choking, apparently. That felt good. That felt good. He deserves it. It's 1:25. How long did it take for him to do the speech? Was he doing it the entire time I was doing the live stream? I kid, of course. Wow. I mean, I don't have any knowledge on that right now. I said, like, basically, I think he should be back. I think they should bring him back. I hope they do. But they're not going to have an answer to that yet. I think they're probably, like I said earlier, I mean, they're having that internal discussion. That's definitely going to happen this week where they're like, man, this Baker Mayfield guy can't leave the building. Like, now that we have him, you can't let him leave the building. How bad is this going to look, though, if the Browns all of a sudden, like, start going off and I don't know, like, and like not off, but like they start being crappy and not going to look good. Not going to look good. Yeah, they did. Yeah. I agree with that. It's like, it's weird. I felt bad for Wolford because they kept showing him with his helmet on and like he looked like, but I wanted to play. But man, I don't know. Like, I feel bad for Perk. I do. I feel worse for Perk. Because I don't think he played that bad against the Chiefs. I don't think he was great, but I think that was one of the hardest ways to debut, and then they're that quick to get rid of him, and they didn't get rid of him. He was an active quarterback today, but I don't know. I wasn't a fan. But then again, I mean, next year, it's probably Stafford, Baker, and Perk, and they'll probably move on from Wolford. Or as Sean McVay calls him Walford or Wofford. I don't know why, but he does. You ever hear him talk about John Wofford? Like the college, Wofford College or Wofford University? I don't know what it is. I did not see the victory speech. I could give it a shot. Let's see. Wait, who got Senga? Who got Kodai Senga? Oh, the Mets are trying to get him. The pitcher. John Wofford, yeah. My God. Very slim. Very slim. Like, already expect that this team's not making the playoff. Expect disappointment and you'll never be disappointed, said Michelle Jones Watson in Spider-Man No Way Home. That's hilarious. And we also know that Wolford has gotten his opportunities, right? I mean, I don't think he's bad, but that's the name of the game. Like, there are guys that are like, I mean, where is he? Dr. Dingus knows who I'm going to go with this. There are guys like my guy, not John Wolford. No. My guy, Kyle Sloter. Sorry, I'm exhausted. Kyle Sloter's never got an opportunity to start in the NFL. Okay. So some of these guys that are very good and they're playing at the highest level, they'll never get a chance to start. That doesn't make it any less hard to look at, though. I mean, I legitimately feel sorry for Perk. He went up against a team that I think is going to win the Super Bowl this year in the Kansas City Chiefs. He goes to Arrowhead, keeps him in that game in the fourth quarter, of course, keeping that trend, gives him a chance, and the offensive line was just too much, man. Like, they caved in on him. And he's playing at Arrowhead. You made your debut behind a makeshift offensive line. I think Bobby Evans started that game too. Makeshift offensive line, Bobby Evans starting at Arrowhead. I mean, come on. So, I don't know. I think Perkins is who they'll keep him. They'll move on from Wofford. I'm sorry. I love McVay, but like, why the hell does he call John Wolford? Everyone calls the Wolf. Even the Rams social media team calls him the Wolf. They use the wolf emoji. And Sean McVay, his head coach, calls him John Wofford. Why? Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely look into doing something like that. Yeah, let me know. I'll have a suggestion box post tomorrow probably. I'm writing out my goals for the first time ever. I know that sounds really, really bad, but I've never written out my goals. I just say stuff and I say it, right? Like, I'll just be like, my goal is to hit 20,000 subscribers. And then if I don't hit it, I'm like, oh, that sucks. But like, I didn't write it down. This year, I'm writing down my goals. Like, I want to get back in the best shape of my life. I want to get to 30,000 subscribers. I want to get to 10 million views. And I want to be able to do this beyond full time. Like, to the point where I'm making good enough money where now all of a sudden I can mass produce videos. I'm not going to hit you with what the hell, Mike Zero. I'm not going to hit you with Mike Zero where he's coming out with 5 Star Wars videos a day. Because I'm not going to do that. But what I want to do, the way I see it, is I want to be able to come out with videos, do what I do best, which is making the videos, editing them and stuff like that. I've gotten better at, but let's be honest here. What do you know me for? What do you think of me for? My editing? Is that what you think of me for? Do you think of me as an editor, or do you think of me as a content creator, just like somebody that sits in front of a mic and talks to you and makes content? Not really the editing, right? Like, I'm not a video editor. I'm a makeshift video editor. So My plan is to get to the point where I can afford to hire people or hire one person to edit my videos to the point where I make the videos and they're already editing it. They can do all the cool shit that takes me for hours to do. So I want to get to that point where I got the editors, I got graphic designers, and I'm good to go. When I get to that point, you guys will have mass videos. I'm not saying 4 a day, but I mean, maybe 2 full things of content, a live stream, and then maybe 5 different short form pieces of content a day. Maybe not 4 full freaking videos, but and then also keep that in mind. You take the workload off my plate, because if I have somebody that can edit, then that means now all of a sudden I can go back to doing my live streams that I like to do, breaking down film. And once I can do breaking down film, that'll make me feel very good. So anyone wants to volunteer to edit, I just can't pay right now. But no, in all honesty, though, I'd feel bad. If you do want to volunteer, I won't stop you, but I want to get to the point where I'm able to hire somebody. And I'm not there yet, but I will be there. If not the end of next year, it's coming. So you remember, I hate like crapping on a fellow content creator, but I mean, the guy makes up stuff with Star Wars. We already talked about this, but what was the one thumbnail? It was like Mace Windu, and he was just like, he had like a yellow lightsaber. I don't know. Nolan knows. We talked about this in the Discord, which, by the way, if you guys haven't, please do me a favor. Follow me, because we have 458 people in here. So this would be freaking awesome. I'm trying to grow my Instagram. Like, you can call me desperate all you want, and honestly, I don't care. You're probably right. But I am trying to grow my Instagram. It's JK Bogan. I need to start pushing this thing. I'm going to put all my short form content on my Instagram, my YouTube, and TikTok. Both are JK Bogan. But I'm going to log into my Instagram right now. Let's see here. All right. So if everyone could do me a favor, if you haven't already, be sure to click that link and go and just give me a follow on my Instagram. Would really appreciate it. It's the best way to grow, because I got 454 people in here. Best way to do that is get you guys funneled over to the other platforms. You could also follow me on Twitter. That was bizarre. You can follow me on Twitter at JK Bogan as well. And then I'll drop a Discord link, and you guys can keep up with all my stuff. We have 444 people in there. It's just basically a nonstop like community. It's mainly Rams fans, but anyone's welcome. We have, Lions fans in there. Hit the Discord link. You're more than welcome to join. It's free. I don't charge anything for the Discord. But it's a lot of fun, and we have a lot of different people in there. And so be sure to do that if you haven't already. I'll be watching. I can't wait to see people showing up. Hopefully people show up in the Discord, but it's a fun time. All that. So it's just if you want to stay connected. Obviously, I get it's not for everybody, but it's basically a 24/7 community for, everything on this channel. And yeah, I'm feeling good. Rams Tapes, how are you feeling? I'm definitely feeling good. I'm feeling dangerous, right? I woke up feeling dangerous. That's Baker. Yeah. Dangerous, baby. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to do the whole self-promotion. Yes, Discord. Oh, God. I know. Our DTR Instagram got hacked, in case you guys don't know. Incredibly annoying. Moron hacked it. I mean, really, you're just an asshole if you hack something you don't even have a purpose. You're already bad enough for hacking it, but, you know. Actually getting kind of excited to be able to watch that. Hey, I see Jerry joined. Welcome. Jerry joined the Discord. I'll say it again. I think the Browns and Panthers letting go of Baker is almost as bad as trading a WNBA player for an international arms dealer. Oh, he hit me with that. I was not ready for that. Oh, man. Oh, Lord. It's just that time. Oh, man. No comment. Appreciate you, Michael. Where would you rank this Ram game, this game in Ram history? By the way, thank you so much for donating, Fire Poet. Appreciate you. I don't have a clue. I mean, there have been a lot of games. I don't know if this is top 10, top 20, whatever. If you're talking regular season, it's got to be up there. I mean, this was a fantastic, what happened out of this was just nuts. So I think it'd have to be pretty high. But I don't know. I think top 10 regular season, obviously not mixed with postseason, but regular season, I think that's fair. Let's see. Niners crying right now sounds legit. Pin it. Does pinning even work? I feel like I pin it and like no one actually. The Discord I just pinned, but like. Zagwa, thank you so much for donating yet again. Do you think Lions beat the Vikings? I think they're the better team right now, despite the record. I'll be honest with you. I think the Lions might win that game. Let me see here. One sec. All right, so I'm trying to. Did I pick the Lions? Yes, I have the Lions this weekend upsetting Minnesota. So I have the Lions winning the game. I have one thing about the Lions. When they play at Ford Field, I don't know what it is, but I have a really hard time picking against them. And they don't win a ton of games, but they're in every game. And I just feel like, I don't know, I have a hard time picking against them. This year so far, when it comes to picking the games, I am 117 and 76. I rank 60,000th in the country on ESPN Pick'em, and I'm in the 93.9 percentile. I've been better, but it's not been a bad year considering that I got so many of those Rams should have been wins. Got so many of those wrong. Let's see. One sec. Okay. Man. What a night. Yeah. I mean, appreciate you, William, for joining the Discord and following on Instagram. Double whammy there. Love it. I'm going to bring the Discord up on my iPad so I can monitor people joining. See if we can blow this thing up. All right, we got some people in there. We got Jerry, we got OR Bulldozer, Matt King, Will Demamba. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing names. But yeah, let's keep it up. Pinning the Discord helped. All right, you get the assist on that one, my friend. Jake, watch the victory speech in the locker room if you haven't. I will after the live stream. Awesome. Yes, Matt King, I see you. Keep it up. Let's do it. Let's get everybody in the Discord. It's literally free. Yeah, I'll probably start pinning the Instagram. That's probably smart. The Instagram, it took us a while to get to 1,000. Now we're at 1,115. So that was, yeah. Guys, this is like my livelihood on my channel. Like, this is how I make the majority of my money. You know, because I mean, this is like my career. So I needed something to come out of this. And that's why I was like, man, they got Baker Mayfield. Do you know how much attention Baker Mayfield is going to generate towards the Rams? It's really cool. Like, it's not just like, obviously the fan thing is a big deal, and I'm a big fan of his right now, and the Rams, obviously, but it also, you know, if we're being real, the career, I mean, I'm not quite there yet. Keep in mind, I won't be pushing Stafford out the door. I've been following Stafford for years. The guy got them the Super Bowl win, second ever in Rams history, fourth ever championship. Yeah, he won't be pushed out for me, but I want Baker to be around. I want him to be in the picture. So we'll see. One Big Ramley, Chardol, appreciate both of you joining. The Discord, keep getting more people. Love to see it. Let's see. Stafford can be our backup. How do you see that playing out, Jake? Stafford's not going to... No, Stafford would retire if he was relegated to backup. And they're paying him like $40 million, so he wouldn't do that. Baker and McVay seem like the same person, have that same energy and competitiveness. Yeah, I agree with that. Appreciate you, SG, for joining the Discord. I thought Rapp played well, had the pick, a big third down stop. Yeah, I don't think he played that bad at all in this game. It was probably one of his better games of the year, if I'm being honest. You think he retires? I mean, I don't know. I'd be a little surprised. Just the competitor he is, I think something really bad medically would have to come up. Like, I think he'd have to get a second opinion and they'd be like, you have to retire. Because I don't think he wants to retire. Oh, man. I think he looks pretty good. I mean, we'll see now that he has tape out there. Teams know how to, you know, his tendencies a little bit based on that tape that they have. We'll see what he does, but no, he looked pretty good. And to show your appreciation for the channel influx due to Baker, maybe a visit to SoFi against the Broncos and a Baker jersey to go along with it. LOL. Yeah, it's gonna be a little tough though, because I don't really have the funds to do that. Would love to go out to a game. I'm thinking next year's probably the best course of action. You know, unfortunately, I would have loved to do it, you know, this year, but it just I just did not have the funds for it, unfortunately. Because here's the thing, I can afford the trip because I could just use my Southwest points. So when I get out there, I already have the trip, but then I need to have a rental car. I need to have lodging, and it becomes a whole big thing. And then if I'm going with Alexis, I have to plan that out. She has to figure out a way to afford it. If I'm going with my dad, he has to figure out a way to afford it. It's just a whole big thing. So, yeah. Jake, when you do finally come to SoFi, I 1,000% recommend the tour of SoFi. It's only like $40. You get access to the field and locker rooms. That's pretty cool. I'll definitely do that if I can. That sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah, let me know when. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I've been extremely busy. So we might even have to push it back for next year, like over the off season. But yeah, just let me know and I'll try to make it work. No, I couldn't ask you to do that. I couldn't ask you to do that. No way. But I appreciate the kind thoughts there. Yeah, he's got that edge, man. He's definitely got that edge. I can't believe we're still over 400 people. I mean, we're getting on. It's almost 2 a.m. I see what you're doing. Thank you, William. I appreciate that. I couldn't have you do that. That's way too much money. I would feel bad. Um yeah, let me. That's a Wednesday? Yeah, at the moment, I'll put it in my calendar. So, all right, I saved the date. Let me know when, and you have to. The only thing is, you gotta be able to remind me because I do 2 podcasts for the Rams. I'm gonna be doing the NFL show. Just a lot going on, so definitely remind me, SG, and we'll make it work. Start the fun. We were at like 49 likes earlier. Just checked, saw we were at 388. Let's go. Let's get to 400. Oh, for this? No, we're at 456. You gotta update your browser or whatever. Yeah, I see here. It's 458 now. 458 likes. I think at that point, Goff had his spirit completely broken. I think there was a point in time where you could have argued that Wolford was better than Goff, at least for the offense. It's not to say he was better, like more talent, but I think he had the better mindset. Problem is he can't stay healthy. There's always a neck injury with him. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's have some fun. Let's dive into it. Let's see what Baker's doing. Let's do it. I'm going to try to commit to that. 11 days to do it. Yeah, let's do it. Let's get it to 500. Yeah. 461. Let's keep it going. Maybe. The Mayfield miracle. Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, no, I can't wait to do that. We'll have to do like a meet and greet type deal. And I don't mean I sit in a chair and sign autographs. I mean like we all hang out. Like I get to meet everybody. Might be a little overwhelming for me. But I'm totally game. Yeah, Stafford's QB1 unless he retires. So, no doubt, but definitely big deal with Baker Mayfield. Yeah, 111. You just have to remind me, because I'm not gonna remember once January comes. I have a lot on my plate, so just remind me. I put a tentative little thing, so I'll try to remember. But you got to remind me with things like that. That's the only thing. It's hard for me to keep track of everything. Marketing pro. I actually felt bad. Yeah, that was hard to watch. I don't think Lamar's going to play this week. He didn't practice today. It's Thursday. I just can't see him playing. It's literally to go to the playoffs for me in a lot of my leagues, and I have him in like every league. So I'm starting Tyler Huntley. We'll see how that goes. We will see how that goes. Wow, that does hurt. 2-2 was definitely deserving of a shout out. Yeah, that's going to be a meme. There's a lot of memes. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not really a heavy drinker or anything like that, so I will never get drunk at a football game. I know. They sleeping on Tutu, man. 5 catches, 50 yards. He led the team in targets. I mean, I don't know what you want from the guy. 5'9", $166, and I don't know, man. I'm replying to somebody in the Discord. My apologies. Hardy got snaps. Oh man. Yeah, just remind me and we'll figure it out. It's so true. He was huge on that last drive too. Jake, what do you think of the rumblings about the Lions trading their picks from Lamar Jackson if they can't come to an agreement? That'd be interesting. I don't know if they'll do that, but I love Lamar, so. No, it's a PCL injury, I think it is. It's not an ACL. I think it's a PCL. So fun fact, I didn't know how to snap until I turned like 26 years old, and now I just snap like without even knowing it. I don't think I even tried, really. Hey, as long as he's given him opportunities, he can show Tutu zero praise all he wants, LOL. Now he just needs to start doing the same with Kyron. Oh my God, I know. If they lost this game, I'd be complaining about Kyron right now. I got lost in the sauce, man. Can't really complain much, right? Last pursuit. Can we get to 500? If you haven't already and you are enjoying this, be sure to hit the sub button, subscribe, and be sure to hit the like or the thumbs up button, whatever you call it. 464 likes in here. We have almost 11,000 views. We got 466. Let's see if we can keep it going. Can we get to 500? That is the question. Jake, your snap is like me with super loud whistle with the fingers in the mouth, like my dad. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I like I said, I never ever snapped. I didn't know how to snap, and then one day I just did it. Like, I got really excited. Aaron Judge hit a home run to win the game. He never hit a walk-off home run before, and this year he hit a walk-off home run, and I went, yes! And I never done it before, and it just happened. I was like, that's so weird. So the excitement of Aaron Judge hitting a home run taught me how to snap. 470. Let's keep it going. 30 more until we get to 500. That would be awesome. That's half of 1,000. Half of 1,000 likes. Yeah. Damn it. Now I'm doing it. I got to stop. I got to think about it now and not do it. Yeah, smash that like button. Smash it. Also, be sure to join the Discord. It is the link is pinned in the chat. Yes, thank you, Mary. Don't like twice, you will unlike it. 473. We got 200. Not 200. We got 27 more people. Can we get 27 more people to like this? Can we? That is the question. You guys ever see Will It Blend? Remember the Blend Tech blenders? Remember Will It Blend? Those videos? Don't breathe this. that scientist guy? Do you remember that? Does anybody? Will It Blend? Those videos used to crack me and my sister up so much. I don't know why. They were hilarious. And the guy's face, just so funny. Just look up Will It Blend. And dude will just put anything into a blender, a Blend Tech blender. He'll put an iPhone. He'll put anything. He'll put a trophy. He'll put, I don't know. There's so many things. So you know. You know it then. There's a lot of memes from my childhood. Guys, you know that thumbnail that I did? I put together with Cam and I? Cam and I, our last podcast, you know how Cam's like this? Like he's doing like the fist. He's like, so he doesn't know this, but I put that screen cap in there because if anybody's seen Ray William Johnson equals 3, yes, Blend Tech, you're absolutely right, Nolan. If anyone's seen Ray William Johnson equals 3, he used to do he's basically Tosh Porno, making fun of viral videos and stuff. And there's this one video, and he was like, "Hey, Scotty, Jesus, man!" And like I said, it's one of those things. If you know it, you know it. If you don't, I look like a freaking idiot, and it's okay. I'm okay with looking like a freaking idiot, but you got to check it out now. Hey, Scotty, Jesus, man. I don't know why. It's at the end of the movie, and the guy just is like this, and he's like, "Hey, Scotty, Jesus, man." And he does it in such a intense way. It's such a not intense, but impactful, oh my God. And I think it's hilarious. So Alex, you know what I'm talking about then. It's just it's one of those things where I freaking love that skit. Yeah, it's one of those things where Ray brings it up. I've seen Ray William Johnson, by the way. He came in my neck of the woods and I saw him live. And it's one of those things where he brings it up and he's like, "Hey, if you say, 'Hey, Scotty, Jesus, man,' you could say that in a different way. It could have different tones. If you're like, 'Hey, Scotty, Jesus, man,' it's different ways, or Jesus, man," man, that just brings me back to the equals 3. Oh man. Yes, he has been making a comeback with the shorts, but he had a stand-up comedy tour that he did with what the hell's his name? Epic Lloyd, who used to do the epic rap battles of history, and that was a great comedy set. I really enjoyed both of them. Ray was great. I met him afterwards and it was awesome. So yes, Second Glance. There we go. Yeah. I had never seen it. I saw the skit that Ray William Johnson did. He had some of the greatest skits, oh my God, the Olsen twins music video, whipped cream flowing like waterfalls. Does that ring a bell to anybody? That shit just used to make me laugh, man. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff. YouTube has been a meme my whole life. It's just there's so many different things that people are they relate to this show or this show. And I always say I'm catching up with people with TV shows. That's why everyone's like, "Why do you binge so many TV shows in a year?" I've literally watched 60 TV shows this year, and look at how much content I've put out. I'm basically taking on a double shift just to make sure that I can finish these shows. Just finished Yellow Jackets, Yellow Jackets. Really liked that. So, I finished that show. I'm watching Ozark right now. I finished Wednesday. Loved Wednesday. Absolutely loved it. Adored it. I think it's a top 3 show this year. And then, before that or after that, I watched The Resort. I watched Made for Love. There's so many really good shows. I still haven't watched Titans, no, unfortunately. There's so many shows though, you know what I'm saying? So, it's just, I don't know. It's one of those things, man, like trying to, like, there's this one guy, AJ Hicks. I don't know if you're in here, but AJ Hicks, House of the Dragons, #1, no doubt. It's #1, at least in my opinion. AJ Hicks on Twitter, if you guys know him, he's a Rams fan, and he's constantly telling me to watch Breaking Bad. Every little tweet, every little reply, every mention is something about I need to watch Breaking Bad. I don't know. Like, I don't know, man. We're getting people to join the Discord, though. I can tell you that. Welcome, Danger Doom. Welcome, Marketing Pro 98. Welcome, Kang. Ooh, I love that name. Thank you, One Big Ramley. I appreciate that. I gave up on Breaking Bad after the first episode. I really enjoyed it, and I never watched it again. I don't know why. Top 5 horror movies. I feel like you've asked me this before, SG. Let's see here. Okay. I'm going to go with Halloween 1978. I'm going to go with Texas Chainsaw 74. Sinister. I'm going to go with... What do I want to go with? The Black Phone might actually be in there. And then... Man, this is tough. The remake of the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street. No. That's wrong. That's wrong. Both It and It 2, like those remakes, It Chapter 2, those would be in my top 5. Oh yeah, I'll do a COD live. Definitely do a COD live. So Ozark, I'm not obsessed with, right? When I watched the OC, was obsessed with it. I think I literally took myself out of like my creative groove, and I became a loser for like a week because I was so obsessed with. I loved it. I absolutely loved the OC. The Coens were awesome. I love that show. The Scream TV series is one of the best horror shows you'll ever see. The first 2 seasons are amazing. I don't know why they didn't make a third. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yeah, so my buddy Kyle Sloter is going to be playing for the Arlington Renegades. So, yes, I'm interested. I'm an Arlington Renegades fan. I like the Battlehawks still to a degree, but I'm definitely leaning towards like the Arlington Renegades as my team. And he's going to be on here. He's going to be on here soon. Because he's actually covering like the NFL. He's doing like breakdowns and stuff. So I'm going to bring Kyle on here, and I think we're going to have him break down Baker Mayfield and the Rams offense. If anyone's interested in that, maybe even some Jets stuff. I feel it's hard to watch anything DC puts out with how wishy-washy they are in support for their products. Hopefully Gunn is going to steer that shipwreck right. I agree. I mean, I was so bummed to hear that, yeah, by the way, Black Adam, which you actually liked more than you expected to like, yeah, we might not actually have Black Adam. We might not have a sequel that you were getting all psyched for. That kind of pisses me off. I don't know. I'm not a fan of that. If you saw the Amazon Prime post game, but somehow asked Baker Mayfield if he wanted to come to LA, and he said that he booked his flight to LA before he was on the waiver wire. Oh man, that's crazy. I did hear he wanted to go there. That's why I tweeted that out. I had knowledge that he wanted to go there. Ew, Jason X. Nolan's all like upset over there. Oh, I did just see Andor, and I also saw the Santa Clarita Diet, which ends on a little bit of a cliffhanger, but I don't know. I was digging it. Nothing like watching Drew Barrymore eat people because she's a zombie. I don't know. Timothy Olyphant was awesome in that. I really liked it. I don't know. I recommend it. It's very gory. It's a horror comedy, but it's very gory and it's very worth it, I would say. Oh man, I didn't even notice that. Leprechaun. Oh, but you like Black Phone. Oh, Smile was really good. All right, let me be real. Smile was the first movie where I felt unsettled. I felt really bothered by Smile. So, oh really? I didn't know they actually filmed it in Santa Clarita. Did you like it? I mean, it was crazy. You know, absolutely crazy. But I really enjoyed it. Horror is my reality. I got Michael Myers in the background. I mean, keep that in mind. It's funny. I when I do like, you know, I go on shows and stuff, and I have these professionals who have these nice like backdrops and stuff, and they're like, "Yo, your backdrop is so cool." And they got like a suit on or something or whatever they have, right? And I'm sitting there like t-shirt, like wearing my, you know, Jackson chain, and I got like my Michael Myers mask in the background with Spider-Man. Makes me look kind of like a nerd, but I don't really care. But I don't know, it's funny like the reactions I get. Jordan Rodriguez was terrified of Michael Myers. She was terrified. She's like, if that moves, I'm out. And I was like, no, it doesn't move. And she's like, good, because as soon as that mask moves, I'm out of here. It's like, but yeah, I mean, you guys saw that live stream or that. So Terrifier 2 was really good. I actually really liked it. Now, is it completely outlandish? Is it completely off the grid? Yes. Like, it's not realistic. It would never happen. It is sci-fi, if you will. But it had a story. It didn't just feel like mean-spirited. I felt like the first Terrifier was just mean-spirited. Like the first Terrifier was just mean-spirited, and there was really no direction, and Art just killed everybody for like no reason. It was just kind of a jerk. But this one like starts to kind of tie some stuff together, and I was all for it. And I really like the actors. Yes. Silent Night, or I forget what it's called. Violent Night. Play on words. Yeah, Violent Night looks good. The Last of Us is coming out in January. We got the season finale on Sunday. If anybody watches White Lotus season 2, really enjoying that. I have so many theories. I talk with Alexis about it daily. we just discuss it. So the last episode of that. What else is coming out? We got Hunters. Did you guys see the previews for that? Hunters on Amazon Prime. Hunters season 2. Guys, who doesn't like watching Jews hunt down Nazis? Like kill Nazis? Who doesn't like watching that? Obviously, it's not real. It's a show. Don't demonetize me, YouTube. Oh. I'm putting that up. I don't care. I do not care. That's hilarious. Was not expecting that. But yeah, Hunters is awesome. Okay, if you haven't seen Hunters, the first season was insane. The second season, they did the trailer in this during the game. Looks amazing. Guys, feel free to hit the like. Once we get to 500, I'll log off. So I'll call it a night, but we got to get to 500. 17 more. Come on, folks. I see it. 483. Let's get it up. I know, and we're almost at 11,000 views. 11,000 views, guys. 11,000. Think about that. Yeah, 98 yards like it didn't matter. I have not. The last black and white movie I saw was The Wolfman. I just saw The Wolfman. My next movie on my list, Alexis and I are going to watch Bodies, 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 which I heard is great. And as a horror fan, as somebody that's ranking all the movies that come out in 2022, I'm excited for that. Still got to see all the Jack Ryans. If you guys haven't checked out Yellow Jackets, definitely check out Yellow Jackets. Really good series on Showtime. I don't have Shudder. I couldn't justify paying for it anymore, so I got rid of it. By the way, the menu's really good. If anybody hasn't seen the menu's really good. Really, really original. Very, very original. Interesting take on horror, and it's like symbolic horror. I guess that's the best way to put it. Acolyte looks interesting. Yes, it does. Is it weird that I feel like Daphne Keane should have played Ellie in Last of Us? Am I the only one that thinks Daphne Keane should have played Ellie over Bella Ramsey? Am I the only one that thinks that? I feel like Daphne Keane looked more like Ellie than Bella Ramsey. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. She was awesome. She stole the show. Fantastic. Amy Carrero, I think her name is. Big fan of hers. She was in Young and Hungry with Emily Osment, and she was in that. And she was also in Spirited. I saw Spirited with Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds. I loved that. That was fun. I really enjoyed that. I know it's more of a kid's movie and all that. Don't really care. I enjoyed it. Good Christmas movie. Check it out. Oh, I don't hate it either. I just think that they should have cast Daphne for that. I thought Daphne Keane was perfect for that. I love House. Hugh Laurie is awesome. Hugh Laurie's absolutely awesome in that, so you'll definitely enjoy that. A beer shower? No. Yeah, the menu was great. Ooh, would you like a s'mores? Only people that watch that know what I'm talking about. I did. I love the Guardians of the Galaxy special. It was fantastic. Cabinet of Curiosities. I did not see that. Heard it's like a horror version of Black Mirror. That sounds very interesting. Bad Seed is about a demonic little girl. Interesting. I might check that out. Guys, the 30s movies, literally, people do not give it credit. The 1930s Invisible Man is way beyond its time. It literally created invisible effects to do the Invisible Man. Like, they created invisible effects, and the thing is beyond its time. I don't even know how they did invisibility on the screen back in the 30s, but they did. 30s, I don't know. 30s movies hit different, man. At some point, I don't think this year, but maybe next season. It's not like I'm not going to set up like a chair or anything. Maybe I will. I don't know. It depends how many people would do that. I don't know. I'm not trying to be bigger than I am, but if I need to have like a, kind of have it organized, then I have to have it organized. I can't imagine I have to have it organized, but who knows? Yes. Oh my God. Oh, what the hell is it called? Oppenheimer comes out in 2023. I am so pumped for that. That has like the greatest cast. That has everybody in the cast. Everybody's in that movie. Literally everybody. You miss Robert Downey Jr.? Good for you. He's in that movie. Crazy, man. Could do that after the game or before the game. Yeah, I could do that. I'm glad you enjoyed it. That was awesome. It's awesome to watch. 15 likes. Guys, be sure to hit the thumbs up. I can't believe we still have over 330 people in here. We just went up somehow. It is 2:18 a.m. Yeah, I'm going to pass on that one. But no, you know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see the world of Cyberpunk 2077. We got Cyberpunk's Edge Runners, which was like the anime, which was great, by the way. I'm not an anime guy, even though Dragon Ball Z is one of the greatest TV shows of all time and super. And I like Pokemon, and I thought Naruto was pretty solid, but I'm not truly an anime guy. I thought that was one of the best animes ever. And I love the lore of Cyberpunk. If you guys have ever played Cyberpunk 2077, I've streamed it before, but I want to see a live action movie about that. I know there's probably people that are like, just watch Blade Runner. Like, what are you doing? I still have never seen Blade Runner. I need to see that. I need to see that one. And I need to see the one with Jared Goff in it. My bad, Ryan Gosling, but you get what? That's still same difference. Elizabeth Banks produced and directed the Cocaine Bear movie. I saw that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'll see that at some point. Santa's Sleigh. That's interesting. I gotta watch Jekyll and Hyde. I did not actually. Huh. Nosferatu. He was a beast tonight. That's funny. Jake and Hours. Yeah. See, I got to see Blade Runner so then I can see Blade Runner 2049. Fun fact, if you guys didn't know, the song that I use, it's like for my, like, not for my live streams, but like some of my videos, like when I do not live streams, but when I do the film breakdown, that background music is cyberpunk music. It is it's royalty free cyberpunk music. That's what it's called. So you can see my influences. Like I've put the Vault Boy up there at the end of my videos before, that I approve this message. Like I've done that. You can see my influences all over the place. Also, I've recently started to watch more Mr. Beast videos. Now, I used to like them when I was little, or not little, but younger, because I mean, I'm older than Mr. Beast, but I used to like him when I was younger. But I recently started to, like, if you guys haven't, after this this live stream, check out Mr. Beast's. You could just look it up. It's here. I'll find it. Squid Game, Mr. Beast. You can Google this. It's Squid Game in real life. What he did, it's the most viewed video on YouTube at 314 million views. 314 million. Watch Squid Game in real life. It is one of the greatest and the best produced videos I've ever seen. He recreated the set of every single Squid Game competition. Like, Mr. Beast is an inspiration of mine because, like, guys, his third year, he hit 3,000 subscribers. I haven't even hit my third year. I hit my second year and I'm at 16,000. It just shows you, like, the sky is really the limit if you put in the work. Mr. Beast has put in the work. He started off as a freaking Minecraft YouTuber, and now he's huge. So, yeah, definitely check that stuff out. That video is insane. Let me know what you think. Blade Runners, amazing, but it's a different vibe than Cyberpunk IMO. I'd like to see a live action Cyberpunk show as well. Absolutely. Same here. I totally agree with you there. Bro, I played Cyberpunk for the first time the other day and the player creation is wild. I could not believe what you could do. I know what you're talking about. And yeah, me too. I was a little surprised about the customization down, below the belt, if you know what I mean. Treasure Planet or Atlantis for a live action Disney remake? I don't know. I don't really remember them that well. Maybe Atlantis, but I don't remember them that well. What I will say is this. We need to start pushing The Emperor's New Groove as the most underrated Disney movie of all time. The Emperor's New Groove had multiple opportunities to have rides in the parks. You have the roller coaster that they go on. They literally don't make mention to it. They don't. They made Pandora after Avatar, and they didn't even have a second Avatar. They didn't have a sequel to Avatar for like 13 years later. Emperor's New Groove had Patrick Warburton, who's one of my heroes. That's my goal. I got in touch with him a while ago, and he's also a Devils fan. So that's cool because I like the Devils. I got in touch with him a while ago, and Patrick Warburton, I couldn't get him to do it because he never responded, but I wanted to get him to introduce me. So like I could record him, like his audio, because he has got like the best voice ever, and he could like introduce me when I'm doing a podcast. So like I would always have that playing. That's my goal. I want to get that. But anyway, you had David freaking Spade and you had Patrick Warburton, and that didn't do anywhere near as well as it should have. I've seen that movie 60 plus times. I've seen The Dark Knight over 100 times, easily. There aren't many movies I've seen that many times, but The Dark Knight I've seen over 100, and Emperor's New Groove I've easily seen over 60 plus. So, I don't know, man. So I love Smile, but Smile gave me chills. It was the first movie where, how people are like, oh my God, it's a scary movie. I don't call them scary movies. I call them horror movies because I don't get scared really. But wow, Smile scared me. Like it was very unsettling. I felt like spine tingling. I felt like, it was chilling. It really, I don't know. There are people that are like, it wasn't that good. And I'm like, it was chilling. It was, oh man, like, I don't know. I don't know how you could say it was unsettling. It was like playing, when you're younger and you play Fallout 3 and you go to, what is it? The Super Duper Mart, and you got the feral ghouls running at you. So you put on the VAT system because you want to slow down time, but you have all of that 40s and 50s music in the background playing, which makes it really eerie because you can hear the ink spots and I Don't Want to Set the World on Fire song, and really slow and all that. And then you have these ghouls that are running after you, and you're like, I don't really want to unpause the VAT system because as soon as I do that, the ghouls are going to be right in my face. So it was like that unsettling as a young kid playing Fallout 3 and just being like, just like it's chilling. That's how I felt. Yes, I did. I beat LA Noire. It's a fantastic game. Absolutely love that game. A good movie of Biohazard should be a BioShock. Yeah, that would be interesting. Would you do it from BioShock 1, 2, or would you do Infinite? I think Infinite probably has the best, has the most potential, I think, for like a really banger movie. So that's what I think. 9 more. Come on, let's get it. Hit the thumbs up. I know you could do it. So, also subscribe. Don't forget. All right, 16.7K. Yeah, I really enjoyed LA Noire. Such a great game. way ahead of its time. The graphics were crazy. 7 more, baby. Oh, those are horrifying. The ghouls kill me, man, because they just sprint and they have this. I'm like, oh my God. Like, what else did I like? Remember the video game, Dragon Age Origins? Dragon Age Origins. I love the game. I think Dragon Age Origins is the best of the Dragon Age series. But my biggest issue with Dragon Age Origins, they had this thing called the Fade, and it wasn't scary, but it was like I could never find anywhere. It was like the definition of playing Pokemon and being in the freaking cave, and when it's dark and you don't have like whatever, you don't have like a flashlight or whatever it is, and you're just like in a freaking, whose idea was it to make the cave that pitch dark? Whose idea? It was like that. The Fade, I could never find the way out of it. Everyone was annoying in the Fade, and I was annoyed. I also never forgot about the Brood Mother either. That's about as damning as it sounds. You know I do it too. I'm a man of my word. Man, you're hurting me. I love the MCU. I actually like Phase 4. The only thing about Phase 4, the only issue with Phase 4 is that She-Hulk was just not good. Just wasn't good. You damn right. I played Amnesia. You ever play Outlast? I think I played Outlast on the stream, and then it got kind of like, I don't know. I'm not against like rated R content, rated M content, but it's weird when you're streaming it. Does that make sense? I don't know. No, but I want to. And if as soon as I do, as soon as I do the Callisto Protocol, I will stream that. So Outlast Trials, that'll be tough because that'll get demonetized with all the blood and everything. I mean, the Callisto Protocol might too, but the Outlast Trials will get demonetized. So I got to be careful with that. I don't know if I will. I'll be honest. I don't know if I will. It might be a little too gruesome for my channel. That might be one of those things where if you want me to do that, I would probably have to like, I'd probably have to do that on like the membership. So I'd have to make those exclusive for members. Otherwise, it's gonna get demonetized. Like it could give me like a strike essentially. Oh, word. And then I saw Kamiko from The Boys is the girl in it, from what I saw anyway. Will do. Thank you. Guys, be sure to hit the pinned the pinned chat in the chat or whatever, the thing I put. It's a Discord link. Discord's free. My channel's free. You can join there. It's literally a nonstop community. Rams fans, gamers, horror fans, MCU fans, sports fans in general. So, definitely check it out. Been playing Pokemon Red. I had a chance to catch a Scyther in the Safari Zone, but ended in failure. Sounds about right. Love that Scyther. That was always that was a good Pokemon. Dude, the Fade arc when you have to clear out the Templar Tower, so annoying, but absolutely fantastic game. Everything except for the Fade, I absolutely loved. I hated the Fade, but it's a great game. Absolutely great. Alistair's a moron, but we still love him. So I missed the God of War series when I was younger. I didn't really play that. I was into more Metal Gear Solid. I was into sport games. Really, it was Metal Gear Solid, Jak and Daxter, sports games, Sly Cooper, Spyro, and Silent Hill. Those are the games I played. I never played Resident Evil for some reason, but I played Silent Hill. I played Metal Gear Solid, all the sports games, whether it be basketball, hockey, baseball, football, whatever. And then, of course, the big three, Spyro, Jak and Daxter, and Sly Cooper. Oh, and I also played Infamous. Loved Infamous, man. We got to get another Infamous, for real. You know what scared me? It was Silent Hill. I just saw this. Silent Hill was different. Silent Hill was messed up. I should not have been playing that at a young age. But between you and I, not really, because it's live and everybody can see it. I beat Metal Gear Solid when I was age 4. That was the first time. I beat the game Metal Gear Solid when I was age 4. So, I beat Snake Eater when I was like 8. So I had been playing rated M video games long before I was supposed to. I ended up okay, right? It's no big deal. That's probably why I like horror. I used to watch, I watched Halloween. I watched the first Halloween. I watched it when I was a little kid. I always watched horror movies when I was younger. I don't know. Emperor's New Groove was amazing. Yeah, I'll watch it at some point. I've seen clips of it. I'm watching Ozark now. Yes, that's the title of it. Give Me Atlantis, directed by James Cameron. Oh, wait, that's basically Avatar, LOL. Maybe if he did direct it, though, he would shut up about Marvel. Watch the victory locker room speech. The energy everyone in the locker room was giving Baker is awesome. Can't wait to check that out. Glad you're still on, bro. Thank you. Let's see. Yes, I was happy for Taylor Rapp finishing the game with the interception as well. Let's see. James Cameron fans not allowed though in Discord. LOL. JK. Yeah, he's kind of annoying. Sophisticated snob. Love Terminator. Yeah, he is a sophisticated snob. By the way, did you hear testosterone is not terminal? Terminal toxin. It's a toxin. Four more, by the way. Let's get those likes up. 4 more. And then I'm out. The Thing. Yeah, that's something. No, what was it? There was... It reset when I was reading. You know what scared me? It was Silent Hill. Then they made the movie and somehow showed me the clip of the Pyramid Head ripping the chick's skin off of her body. I was forever scarred at that point forward. Yeah, I've never seen the movies, so I definitely need to do that as well. I've also never seen any of the Ring movies, so I need to do that also as well. But you know what's funny? Is we always do it like this. You've never seen The Ring? You've never seen this? You've never watched this? Yeah. How am I supposed to watch every single horror film? Just because I'm a diehard horror fan doesn't mean I'm able to see every single horror film. I'm a content creator. If I were hey, you mean to tell me you've never seen Flubber? Yeah, why would Flubber be on my list of, oh yeah, I need to see that movie? If you saw it, great. If you like it, great. But we all have busy lives. I think that's the interesting thing about movies and TV shows is that, we watch something and then we recommend it to other people. And instead of being you haven't seen this, it's, hey, you should check this out. And now all of a sudden they've checked it out. Now they can give you recommendations. And that is how you keep building that whole list. Also, if you guys aren't already, I am on TV Time and Letterboxd if you guys want to follow me. So that's not something I'm pushing. It's just if you guys want to. But yeah. Oh, cool. I got the rewind and everything. But yeah, I'm on TV Time. I'm on Letterboxd. If you guys want to follow me, stalk me, see what I'm watching, see what I've watched, see what I recommend. You can do that. I didn't like House of a Thousand Corpses. I really didn't like the Firefly trilogy. It's not really my style of horror. Rob Zombie's horror is very it's a very niche style. And I really like the remake of Halloween, but I felt like the remake of Halloween 2 Was very Rob Zombie Firefly trilogy-esque, and I didn't like it. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, it's not really for me. Devil May Cry. Did they ever come out with a movie on that? Yeah, I'm not watching Willow. That does not interest me in the slightest. Yeah, follow me on Call-In, follow me on TV Time, follow me on Letterboxd. It's all J.K. Bogan. Pretty easy. 3 more likes. Hit the thumbs up, folks. 3 more likes. Let's do it. Let's go. 3 more. 497. Just got to get to 500. Oh, I think they're great. But I think 74 is a classic, and nothing can beat 74. I have not seen The Platform, no. I do need to see the Silent Hill films. I need to see the Ring films. I need to see... I got a list. One more. One more like. One more. Let me go. Oh, man. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I just finished Andor. I cannot wait for Mando season 3. 500, guys. I'm not going to lie. I'm a man of my word. I said I'd stream until I hit 500. I still need to see signs. I'm still alive, but I'm barely getting back from the stadium. Man, that's been 3 hours. Yeah, guys, thank you for making it a great night. Baker Mayfield helped, but you guys really, really helped. 502 likes. Over 130 chat revenue. So you guys donating, really appreciate you guys. You allow me to be able to do this for a full-time job as long as I can. We'll see how long I can do it, but, full-time and everything, really appreciate that. Still having 290 people in here 3 hours later, just really appreciate that. And over 11,000 views. I mean, what a night. What a successful night. And look, the season's over. In all likelihood, the Rams could, if they went out, they need help and they could get in if something crazy happened. But regardless, just enjoy this moment, just enjoy the moment. I'm really excited for Baker moving forward. I'm really excited to see this team with Baker. And I'm hoping that this team signs Baker, and we're talking about a Baker Mayfield, backup situation where, maybe he's a backup next year. They win the Super Bowl with Stafford. He retires, and there you go. But that's going to do it. Tyler, you're the man. Appreciate you. Thank you for donating. I can't even talk. But appreciate you guys. I'm going to check out the victory speech and all that jazz. We'll have content up tomorrow. We'll be recording podcasts, I think, on Saturday. I'll let you guys know. If there's nothing tomorrow, if Cam and I can't record and Alexis and I can't record tomorrow, we'll record Saturday. I'll have a live stream tomorrow. I have something for you guys. So don't worry. We'll have content tomorrow. That'll be all good. We'll also have, of course, we'll have some, short form content as well. So getting tired, so I gotta go, but you guys take care, and I will see you guys soon. Rams win 17-16 on the Mayfield Miracle. Later, folks.